Good.
1, 2, 3. How we doing? Ripping?
Yep.
Hey ho! Hiya! Herp! Look out! It's only me. It's only the Kimmer. It's Friday. You don't want that. I'll take that. Okay. Well, of course, every day's Friday on a podcast. How's it going? Nice to have you aboard. We're live on YouTube and Facebook, and it's only me, along with Pete Davis, sidekick producer and sports raconteur extraordinaire. Man, we got some sports stuff to talk about today, by the way. And the mechanical mangler at the controls, Flounder at El Condo Flounder, and sure enough, I come in the door, cat whoosh, under the couch. I've not fit. I think I saw him for a second when he darted under the bed a couple days ago.
Kimmer, he took that cat back 2 days ago.
The cat's dead. Let's say it. The cat died. He's afraid to tell us. But and I keep saying, shouldn't he be, curious about people? And he's still young. I mean, I think you may have gotten him a week or two normally young than normal or whatever. But I don't know that. Anyway. But keep going. He's fine with you. And
He's fine with me, and he's getting more comfortable around the house and stuff like that. So it's progressing.
Well,
it's not going backwards.
Well, that's good. We just we can't wait to see him and play with him and stuff.
Agreed. I'm ready to bring him in here during the show, but he would tear the hell out of the place at the moment.
No, how would he? What would he do? He's not going to eat the wires.
Cords and the flowers. Cats are poisonous cats can't eat certain flowers and stuff like that. So
Cats are poisonous to flowers?
Well, the cats will kill the flowers with their saliva. In fact, they suck the life out of babies, too,
bad
by
for
God.
cats to eat flowers.
Take the breath right out of them.
Crib, anyway. Okay, how you doing? Hot poop. All right, we got a billion things to talk about here today. And I will tease a couple of them to show that we have some actual topics, including Herschel Walker and the attacks in his reply, a new wife knocker, Raphael Wife Knocker ad, which is a full-page deal, which I think is hysterical. Finally, if some common sense is coming out. To see President showers with daughter, Mr. Tough Guy, using the F-bomb to pretend that he's, he and Corn Pop, I guess, are getting together as new Puerto Ricans or something, apparently. Kanye on Tucker Carlson. Did you watch that at all by chance? No. I watched a good part of it, and I don't know. Anyway, but he's getting ripped for the BLM being frauds and also White Lives Matter. Anyway, we'll talk about that. Scooby-Doo. Finally, a cartoon character has come out of the cartoon closet, I guess.
Well, who didn't know?
I mean, my God. Yeah, but still, so what's the point? Well, we'll talk about it. I know. The whole thing is ridiculous. Let's see. Not that we do a lot of celebrity stuff, but who's that little short fat guy? You go, ooh, was that car 54? Where are you?
Yeah, it's that guy. Yeah,
the little short fat. Ooh. Sorry. Anyway, I didn't know that Brad Pitt was a wife beater and a child beater. That's right. It was written down. You know the media. You got to trust the media, right? You got to believe the girl. Me too, baby. I'm me too. I'm total girl believer. Me too,
what
baby.
Girl?
Whatever the girl is. You got to. Angelina Jolie put it in a court paper.
Oh, okay, yeah, she's a reliable source.
It's in a court document. It isn't like she told the National Enquirer. Anyway, whatever. We can. So obviously you'll just screw her. The man obviously.
I'm on Team Brad.
Team Brad. Jesse Waters had to change his mind on Team Tom Brady. They were talking about that on Jesse Waters' show on Fox the other night, and he said, "Tom Brady, he's a man." And then the last night. He said, after discussing with my wife, I've now decided to take the team wife side now, all of a sudden.
The latest rumor is that she's left him not only because he went back to football, he loves football more than her and the family, but there's no more sex.
Oh, and he's afraid to have sex because of the career of the football. And
he's not putting out like he used to, and she's afraid he's fallen out of love with her.
Watch out, Pete Davidson.
That's right.
So the betting lines already have the next boyfriend lined up, and it's Brad Pitt, it's Aaron Rodgers, it's Pete Davidson, it's the Jets quarterback.
Can you
Zach
imagine
Wilson.
how
the hell he got on that list?
If Aaron Rodgers is sleeping with Tom Brady's soon-to-be ex-wife, and they meet in the playoffs, the Packers and the Buccaneers.
I'm just afraid he's going to come in here and destroy us. Actually, in Tampa on Sunday.
Well, when he gets ticked off, he does great.
He's only 10-0 against the Falcons.
Yeah, there you go. Not that those other years make any difference. It's a different team and everything else. But still.
It always makes a
difference. But that's ridiculous. I love that. He hasn't beat him in 15 years. What's 15 years ago got to do with a guy beating a team that wasn't even, we're dead now?
I'll explain. The Atlanta Falcons franchise is the same franchise now that it was in 1998, that it was in 1978, 1969, since the beginning.
And we had our one chance.
I've seen every one of their games, and I'm telling you, nothing changes.
And we had our one chance, and then our star defensive back decides to go kinky on us.
No, that wasn't our chance.
Ruins the whole.
We might have won that game against the Broncos. We would have won the game against the Patriots if they had blocked the rusher, if they kicked the field goal, if they'd run the ball.
Yeah. I forgot we had really two great chances. I mean, but especially the last. I mean, who?
And we lost them in the two most embarrassing ways you can: one off the field and one on the field.
Yeah, there you are. Anyway, I've got a whole bunch of. When's your next Holy Crap at Sports?
Already done.
You already did it.
It's already in the can.
Oh my God! Well, I've got a lot of sports thing. Did you talk about Draymond Green?
No. Well, a little bit. I just said, it's overblown. Who cares?
Well,
pushed him ahead. Who cares?
Well, I'm going to ask you about that. Also, I mentioned we'll talk about Hunter Biden, Herschel Walker, Kanye West, Scooby Doo, Brad Pitt. Pete's going to tell us about renting a boyfriend for the holidays. I guess this
I'm
is
not, but someone else could.
But now, what would you charge if a girl wanted to take you to the? Because you're a good conversationalist. People know you. You could go to some chick's house. Well, now you're the producer. Am I getting too personal here already without doing hard news?
Are you renting me out? Let's see. How much money do you think I could make?
I don't
just
know.
Pretend to be a boyfriend.
I don't. Now, I assume this is a thing that you must have read an article or something that women are doing this.
You can rent boyfriends, yeah.
And is there like how do you go about doing that, I wonder? And you sign up for it? I'd like to be rented out. And what do they charge? I clearly haven't really looked up much about this idea.
If you want to do this now, we'll do it now.
No, okay. I thought you were starting to do it now. No, forget it. I got more. Wait, no.
Here it is. No. We'll do it right now. It's a rent a boyfriend.
Normally most productions on broadcasting have things like meetings,
well, you
discussions.
Tell me you're going to do something.
I got shit to do.
Signal it. 2-second
Mark
warning.
that one down.
The NFL has a 2-minute warning. Rent a boyfriend Thanksgiving packages. The silver package, $75 and a plate of food. Got to get a plate.
For the whole Thanksgiving?
2 hours at dinner.
I was going to say.
Matching outfits, and you tell a few jokes.
Do you get to kiss the girl?
Gold is $150 and a plate.
Yeah.
Okay. 3 hours.
Is that still? It's still 2 hours for the gold?
No, 3 hours at dinner.
Okay.
I'll get to that.
I'm sorry. Beg your pardon.
Cute backstory on how you met.
All right. Good story. Good. You need a good backstory. It's got to be a good one.
Details about what I do for a living as the boyfriend.
I pushed her down an escalator and helped her up, and she didn't know it was me in the first place, or whatever. That's a great story.
And I'll call your dad Pops.
I'm not sure. Although my official favorite ex-wife's father, we called him Pops. My kids called him Pops. Our kids
never
called him Pops.
Called anybody Pops. Because mostly the one in-law I had and all the girlfriends' fathers all hated me. So
really? Oh,
all hated.
Really? Well, you're not a good parent boyfriend type person.
No, I said. Well, the first one we were like high school sweethearts, and she stayed here and didn't go back to New Jersey with them, and it was like they hated me for.
My problem was parents loved me. I was a smiling, happy big brother type, and the parents knew I would take care of their sweet, precious daughter, and nothing to worry about with me because I was not exactly
you were an impotent cunt.
I was an impotent nobody. I was just I was an escort, an impotent escort.
No, you came in and they said eunuch.
It said he's not going to do anything.
My daughter is safe.
She can handle him.
Whereas I walked in.
And by the way, back then, ladies, you could handle us. I'll never forget, and I mentioned my first really true love when I think it was a fifth form of prep, a junior in prep school, high school. And my first true love was a girl named Cindy. Well, there was also a girl in the neighborhood that was kind of among our prep school girls, also named Cindy, different Cindy. Anyway, and she was one of the rare girls who blossomed a little prematurely. And so like in 10th grade, we would have all our preppy guys would come home at the same time on vacations, which are different than public school vacations. So that's why you kind of hang around together because everybody else is in school still. But anyway, so we don't hang around together. And we all tried dating her. we all took her out on various dates.
Y'all took a shot.
And she would, man, shall I sell this? I mean, this isn't kinky or anything, but it's kind
Target?
of. No, I mean, this is so, I feel like such an idiot. She was sweet. She was beautiful. We loved her. Just a nice girl, you know. But she was really built. And she would make out with you, and she would have her mouth opened immediately, and she was a French kissing queen. I mean, she would French kiss you all night long. But as soon as you moved that hand up, and you got one around her shoulder, and as soon as you moved it 2 inches, boom, never got there. Nobody ever got to first base. Well, isn't first base the top?
I guess so.
Yeah, it was kissing first base. Well, anyway, she'd kiss anybody, and she would French kiss you for 2 hours, but there was no way anybody ever touched her.
Yeah, you already, I think, were on first with the French kiss.
I'm not sure what the rating is, but
second would be the breast.
Yeah, and
third would be
is whatever. And scoring is scoring. But anyway, no one ever got to second base with her, and she was a sweet girl. I wonder whatever happened to her. I'm gonna Google her. Well, I'm sure her last name is different. Anyway, I don't know why in the world I thought of that.
Yeah. Okay. There's a platinum.
Oh, we still dating
yes,
for King?
Okay,
so the gold is $300, 3 hours, and you get to call Pops, and you have a cute backstory, basically, right? Okay.
The platinum, $350, a plate, and a to-go plate.
Oh my.
You're there all day.
Well.
I will tell you I love you in front of the whole family.
Oh.
I will kiss your mom on the cheek.
And
I will help clean up after dinner.
Oh, Mr. Suck-Up. Yeah. Well, that was me. The parents loved me, man. And they would call my parents, you have such a nice boy.
That never happened to me. Eric says the platinum package includes the right of first refusal for Christmas and New Year's Eve package. Whoa. Slow down there, Cougar.
What do you mean Christmas Eve package? That's like $8,000. Do you get to kiss the girl, though? Like catch you making out with her in the broom closet or
something?
What
she looks like, I guess.
Anyway, well, that's, I'm sure people do it. In fact, I know people.
There was a movie, I think, made about this. Where I forget who was in it. She hired somebody to go with her.
Well, I think it's Jennifer Aniston.
No, it was probably Susan Lucci in one of those Hallmark movies.
I think it's Jennifer Aniston.
Or it might have been. Or Sandra Bullock. That sounds like something.
Stars who hire boyfriends. The one
to meet the family
was a fake fiance.
Fake boyfriend meets the family.
She hired her fake fiance.
There's been a few movies done on it.
I think Jennifer Aniston was in one of them, but I could be wrong. We probably should look this up.
No. Staff?
The what?
The Wedding Date.
Yeah, who's in it?
It is Dermot, Deborah Messing, and Jack Davenport.
Yeah, Deborah Messing and Dermot Mulroney or something.
I hate Deborah Messing.
Anyway, let's see. Okay, so we have newsy stuff. We haven't gotten there yet, but if you'll forgive us, we haven't quite gotten there. Now, this was was fairly amusing. Oh, before I forget. I'm sorry. Yesterday, or not yet, on Monday, on Wednesday. This is Friday. Wednesday. Sorry, I'm out of it. On our last podcast, I told you I had sort of a moral quandary. That I was invited to be a guest speaker, like a sort of a semi-celebrity type person at a charity patriotic event coming up next month. And my quandary is I'm a terrible speaker. I'm just horrible. And my other thing was, I haven't been on the radio in a very long time, so it's possible that most of the people there wouldn't know who I am. Have no idea who's this guy. I mean, so I mean, I'd be embarrassed for the people saying, that they bring in Kim Peterson, like that. So I'd be afraid of disappointing or that they know who I am and hate me on the radio for all those years, and it's a chance to boo me. Anyway, I don't care about me personally, but I didn't want to in any way detract from the seriousness of the event. Anyway, so I left a message, and I said, and I got a message back, and I said, well, of course I'll do it. We'll do anything you want. And I said, and Pete Davis too. So I've signed you up, both of us now.
You should have asked me before you did that.
Why? You got something on that date?
Saturdays during football season, I can't go anywhere. I have to watch the games. Otherwise, I don't have a podcast on Monday.
Okay. Well, but then we'll have to change
Any other part of the year is fine. Any other day is fine. But Saturdays, I can't do anything on Saturday.
But how about if it's like 9 in the morning?
It depends.
All right, well, we'll see.
Well,
anyway.
I'll look and see what time it is. Because the games start either at 11 a.m. or noon. So... And I can't record them because there's like 11 on at a time.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I didn't think about it, but anyway. So one way or another,
just tell him I didn't want to go. Just put it on me and just say I didn't want to go.
He's not being a part of it. Doesn't really give a crap one way or the other.
Or look around and say, "Where is he?"
Yeah, he was supposed to be here an hour ago. Anyway, we'll figure out something. But anyway, I told him yes. And what it is it's a 5K. It's from Jim Niarchos. Remember the name Jim Niarchos?
I remember Jim.
From the guy who has been not only a builder of some note and
Jim,
all four seasons, Jim Niarchos,
yeah.
And he's also been on the radio. He does shows as a contractor, builder, advice columnist type guy. Anyway, and there's a 5K run. From Marietta Square, and it's for the American Legion Post and a whole bunch of military veterans' families. I think one of the spinal centers is involved in it. I mean, so it's a good cause, and it's a 5K run, which is like 3 miles, and a real family thing. So we'll talk more about it, but it's on Saturday, November 12th, and it's an early morning thing, just for the record. Yes. What? Oh, you know eyes? What? I don't get it.
It's World Smile Day.
Oh, in fact, well, speaking of that, you lead right into one of my other kind of personal things. I've grossed out our entire podcast audience.
Yes, you did. You grossed me out. You put me out by feedback.
Well, remember, a couple of weeks, I guess it was about a week ago or more, I told you that when I went to my dentist and I had my implant things in, and something was wrong, so I had to go back and whatever, and they were good and they were fine. They took care of everything. But as a kind of a thank you for me having to go back a second time and go through it all the other with the grinding and everything else, they gave me one of those teeth whitening kits, which are better than the drugstore kind. They're stronger than the drugstore kind, and they're just it's got a little thing for your teeth, a little what do you call them? A thing for your teeth. You stick it on your teeth. I hate when I do this.
How would I know the name? I'm eating a Nestle Crunch as you literally do this.
And you just put it up there and you're doing bomb, and it's not. You leave it in every half hour, or whatever. Anyway, so I did it every day for whatever. I forgot. I don't remember what they had. It's like 7 or 8 of them in the pack. I don't remember. Anyway, so then I took a picture of my teeth before I started, and I took a picture of my teeth this morning because I did the last one last night. Yeah. So I put the 2 pictures on there, and there's a difference. There's definitely a difference, but it's not. But in fact, I was thinking about this. I mean, there's definitely a difference, but it's not like it's bright white. And you know what I noticed I was watching football stuff last Sunday. Whatever channel has the former fat football coach. Whose wife has sexy feet, and he's a foot fetish guy, and she has a website. Rex Ryan. Was it Giants or Jets? Both?
He's done both.
Wasn't he was Jets, right?
He did the Jets, and he was the Ravens as a DC. And
anyway, Rex Ryan. And his wife, he's a foot fetish guy, and his wife has a sexy foot fetish website, which I didn't know. I've never seen it, but no, I haven't. I mean, anyway, not hers. Anyway, so he was on, I know whatever show he's on, CBS or Fox, whatever it was, ESPN, I guess. His teeth were my God. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, they got to be fake.
Holy criminy! It was detracting.
It's like this.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
it is.
It was. And I thought, oh my God!
And it's like this. He talks, and that's all you see is those
teeth.
Jeez. Yeah.
I remember. I'm old enough as a baby boomer. I'll guarantee you, baby boomers will remember Lena Horne.
Oh, yeah.
Lena Horne, remember that? And she had the whitest teeth anybody had. This is back in the 50s and 60s, anybody had ever seen. And she had just beautiful white teeth long before there was any, peroxide, whatever. Anyway, so thank you to Deerfield Dentistry, and it was. I think the kit was $100. I didn't pay for it, so I didn't spend our money on it. But
Hector says your sensitivity could get for hot and cold food will increase if you keep doing that.
No, I just did this because I got it, but I'm not going to keep doing it. And speaking of the food things, I was just going to mention something this the other day. What the hell was I thinking of?
Kim, we're losing the track here. Brought to you by Atlanta Custom Closets. ClosetPro.net. 404-255-0589 is the number to call. You need something done with your closet. You need a new closet. It's Atlanta Custom Closets at ClosetPro.net.
And I remember what it was, a couple things. On Facebook, I took a picture before and after, put them on Facebook, the podcast Facebook page. And some of the quick reactions, Scooter wrote in with all capital letters, "Sweet black baby Jesus." I don't know what that means, but clearly he was affected by my pictures of my teeth. And by the way, I can't get my whole mouth to make a smile. If I wanted to show my teeth, like this side of my mouth doesn't go up all the way. I have to kind of hold it up. Is that bad? Is that just age?
Yeah, well,
I bet it's just with lack of muscle in my face after all these years.
You can't tell because I always have facial hair, but I droop down like an Elvis sneer because my uncle threw a baseball at me when I was a kid and I wasn't looking.
Oh my!
Bam!
It hurt your muscle
and
thing.
Basically, it smashed my lip down.
I'll be damned. Anyway, Scooter's reaction was "Sweet black baby Jesus." Janet wrote in, "You just made my day. I can't stop laughing my you-know-what off." Fiona said, "Are you serious? ... Exclamation, 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 exclamation point. 5 in a row. And Deborah said, "I have no words."
Now, unless you're kissing a mouth, mouths are disgusting.
Well, yeah, true. I mean, there's all,
I wouldn't have done what you did. There's no way I would post a photo of my mouth.
Well, and again, it's not, I need to get my teeth clean.
Hector, this is for you, Hector. You need to take that photo and do your little magic and have him singing in one of your little things.
What do you call those? Hippie Chippies? What do we call them?
Jiffy Johns.
Rippity Jiffities? What the hell do you call those things? Jammer Chippies? Those are where they make fun of, you make a fake mouth moving and... they're called something when you put them on the internet.
Hector used to do them. Jiminy's or something.
Oh, God. In fact, there's a great one going around. Did I send it to you? I think I did. I sent you a couple ones. There's a new one that's really hysterical. And is it Trump? Oh, it's at the...
No soup for you.
Yeah, there's soup Nazi scene, and Trump is the soup Nazi, and Putty Tag. It's very.
Biden is a perfect Costanza.
And the other one is I sent you. I think my little friend Gretchen might have sent this, or Barry, I can't remember. And it was the vice president, the TV series Veep, which was on HBO. I don't think you saw it. I've still got 30 of them saved in my DVR, and that was the Seinfeld girl, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, as a vice president, and she was a typical comedian vice president as a character, and somebody put together the actual comments of our vice president Shiftless and compared with the vice president on the TV show Veep, and I'm telling you, it's freaking hysterical because it's like she was acting as a dumb comedian in a comedy. Our actual vice president, Carmela Shiftless, is as though she was actually sarcastically being a stupid.
Sorry, I was getting your video ready.
Oh, cool.
It's Jib Jab.
Jib Jab. There you go.
Jib Jab.
Jib Jab. Jib Jab. There you go. All right, Hector, your job is coming.
He's on it.
Let's see. Speaking of. What was I speaking of? Oh, speaking of stuff on the internet and things I get, I think this was from Barry, sent me this. A couple things that I thought was funny. A meme that shows Florida Governor DeSantis wearing a Mexican hat. Spanish word of the day, DeSantis. We thought the Democrats liked us in Martha's Vineyard, but they sent us away. Which I thought was amusing.
New York City, Sanctuary City, has declared an emergency.
An emergency. The mayor of New York City has declared an emergency. How do you think they feel in Arizona and Texas?
Yeah. We're getting thousands.
Oh, my God. A state of emergency.
They got a couple hundred in New York City, and it's a state of emergency.
A state of emergency. And another meme he sent it to last night. An historic episode of Survivor. 50 people were voted off Martha's Vineyard. Oh, sorry. And I sent you pictures of Tom Brady and Dak Prescott, how they looked the last time the Cowboys won the Super Bowl. Dak Prescott was like 3, and Brady was like 14 or maybe 17 or something. He might have been at Michigan there. I don't know. Anyway. Okay, just for the record, to thank you, boys, on that one. In fact, I just was going to talk about the state of emergency in New York. Teeth whitening did that one. I got this time of year, as we speak, it's October 7th. I almost hit a deer again. Yesterday afternoon.
Stop doing that.
Well, and any place that has woods or what they call the wooded area, with the woods, at this time of year, there's rutting and there's stuff and all kinds of things. And sure enough, I'm driving along going to the staple up in Milton, Alpharetta area, and deer comes bounding across the road. So I immediately stop because I know there's going to be another one. I mean, again, the reason I'm mentioning this is because if you see one deer, you're probably going to have another one following mommy across the road. I mean, and I saw a Porsche. A Porsche was coming the other direction, going like 60 miles an hour, and I'm going like this. I'm trying to wave him down, and he's like, I wasn't waving at you, sir, you idiot. And to say, there's probably anyway. But just to be careful because and I missed her by, probably 8 or 10 feet, which is scary when you're doing 40. About just boom, bam, came out of nowhere.
I usually coast down this road. I don't fly down this road anymore.
You saw one just the other day. Yeah. I haven't seen one yet. But if there's woods and it's fall, they're out. I mean, this is what they do. Oh, in fact, at the stable, what's today, Friday? Yesterday I was at the stable doing my little walk around for Mel, whose horse, Speckleface, needs rehabbing, so I volunteered to take him out. I'm going to be there again tomorrow doing the same thing. It's kind of fun. Anyway, so while I was doing that and I'm doing the horses, I hear Erica, who's on her new horse, was yelling, give her. And I turn around, and there was a huge deer just across the entire field where the horses are, and I didn't get any of it on my
Just kidding.
Anyway, so be careful because it definitely is this time of year. Another quick personal thing, if you don't mind. I heard. I mentioned on the radio this morning too, and I mentioned on the podcast on Wednesday that it was Jennifer's 18th anniversary of being clean, and she was cocaine and heroin. I mean, she was big time Charlie, and she'd been clean for 18 years and 2 days. And I heard from a coworker from decades ago, a guy I used to work with. Are you okay over there? What? What's that?
His chair is
making funny. That was a funny.
You know what did that? The cat did that.
The cranking noise.
No, there's these buttons that where if you don't want it to roll, and it's just a piece of shit.
Anyway, I heard from a former coworker from literally decades ago who told me that his son had the same issue, his same problem, and he said, as a parent, and you're worried, you don't know whether they're dead or alive, and have to anyway. But I was glad to hear it because he was glad that I talked about it, and it made people more aware of it. And then I heard from a guy named Peter. I won't use his full name. Peter says, "Hey Kimmer, I'm clean 7 months and counting. When you shared your daughter's story, I was moved to get clean." This is from some time ago. Good for you, good for her, good for me, and Jack the good boy, good luck too, which I thought was very nice. And Jennifer replied to him, again, being 7 months clean, that's a major thing. I mean, that's if you can do that, Peter, you're in. I mean, you can do it. You can do it. And Jennifer wrote back and said, "If I can do this, you can. Ask for help when you need it. There are plenty of us out there." Anyway, I don't want to be a preacher thing on drug addiction, but you can get clean. And of course, the president showers with daughter just pardoned all the people who have ever been in federal prison or federal custody for marijuana charges, which, I understand. Of course, by the way, there are 0 people in federal prison right now for marijuana
There's
charges.
A problem with that.
Yeah.
They pled down to that.
Right.
Some of them are violent
dealers.
Violent criminals,
yeah.
Some of them.
Yeah. Killers, murderers, dealers who would do anything.
Far.
Well, if a guy is loading marijuana onto a cargo plane to sneak into Florida from Cuba or someplace, chances are that he's done a lot of things to get that cargo to Florida. including doing what they have. Anyway, you're right. I mean,
there's a lot of
federal case of marijuana, chances are, and of course, President Pervert said, well, a lot of them can't get jobs or so on a federal conviction. Well, it was a good reason.
Is he doing it to get votes?
Yeah, exactly.
Of course, that's all he does.
That's right. And again,
Young votes.
I mean, it's like an October surprise. Who didn't know he was going to do something? And he said, and the other thing is, he said all states' governors should do the same thing. He said nobody should be in jail ever.
He's telling the states what to do?
Right. He is telling the states, all you governors should be doing exactly the same thing.
Before we get too far off your subject here, Eric said, just listening to the podcast, I was reminded my own anniversary is November, 26 years for me.
Wow.
And back around that time, it's 26 years ago, I was trying like the Dickens to win my wife's trust back. I worked a courier job because my only skill at the time was drug-related, taking stuff around.
Yeah.
So I was depressed and needed to laugh. It's tough to actually put into words how much I appreciate you and the Kimmer during that time. And if you mention this on the podcast, I will come and kill you.
Oh, my God, man. No, sorry.
You can use my real name. The statute of limitations have likely expired by now. So Eric says that we all can get off.
What a nice thing to say. It's...
I completely made it up, but it's true.
I'm very touched by that. I'm very touched by that. Hey, hold on. Everyone, that'll sober me up. In fact, I was in the store yesterday. I'm walking by where the dairy is because I needed some milk, and by the dairy section at the Publix, they have all the donut guy. Who's the box donut people? Intiman's donuts, and they're all freaking pumpkin. And I keep looking for an old-fashioned glazed, maybe to have a little treat. That's all pumpkin.
This is strangely comforting. This really is. Strangely comforting.
You need a body pillow. You need one of those hot chick Japanese girl body pillows.
Every Christmas, my nephew or my sister gives me a pillow. I have like 5. I'm a single man. I have 5 pillows.
You can't have too many pillows in case a chick walks in there one day. You got to have pillows for girls.
You know what I do with them? I take the 2 heavier ones and I'll lay on my side and I'll pull them up against my back because that's what Bear used to do. He used to put his back up against my back and it was a comforting feel.
Yeah.
And I put it up against my back.
There you are.
One thing that would drive me crazy about my mom is the amount of damn throw pillows she would have in the guest room when I came over there. I'd be like, this is ridiculous. When she passed away, I threw away 4. And there was still 4 on there.
And by the way, it never changes. When I went to visit the kids in Colorado a few weeks ago, whatever, my guest room, when I go to the guest room at Sarah's house, there had to be 9 pillows on that bed.
What is it?
And she was behind me as I put my suitcase down, and I'm just throwing the shit all over the place like that. Say, sorry, honey, but I mean, there must have been 9 pillows on that bed.
Women, please explain to us this fetish. Because with guys, it's guns, it's fishing poles, or whatever. What's with the pillows?
Well, but again, walk into Bed Bath and Bin Laden or whatever the name of the company is, and all the number of pillows they had, those little throw pillows and stuff. Oh my God, it's astounding. I don't get it.
They don't even have cute sayings on them.
Well, they're no good either. You can't use them for anything. They're just decorative. I mean, you can't elbow on them or what. I mean, you don't keep one of these little with fringe and stuff.
Is this like an arms race where if one woman goes to another woman's house and she's got 14? I got
15.
I gotta have 50.
Oh crap! I was just gonna say something and I've totally forgot what it was.
Sure,
I hate when I do this.
You want to hold the pump?
Oh, damn it. It was really important, too, and I didn't write it down when you were just talking about that. I said, maybe I'll think of it. While you're helping me think of that, a reminder, if you go to thekimmershow.net, if you'd like to sign up for that kind of links you to our radio affiliation with the extra 106.3. And the podcast replays and stuff like that. If you want to get in touch with us as to become like a sponsor, PeteDavis1@yahoo.com is a direct link. Much like our friends at M&S Title Pawn did. And again, I say it that way because the name of the company is 2 letters, M&S Title Pawn. And beautiful downtown Bremen, Georgia, Laurel Street, Suite A. Open Monday through Saturday in person. And again, M&S Title Pawn has been a trusted partner for auto pawns with 24 years in personal finance business, getting you the money you need for your next vehicle. Locally owned company. Straightforward terms, no hidden fees, no goofing around. They offered a tiered rate for the pawns, dedicated to exceptional customer service. Here's their phone number, 678-821-3337. If you want to look them up on the web, spell M&S Title. So it would be manstitle.com, M-A-N-D-S title.com. M&S Title Pawn in lovely Bremen, Georgia. With our appreciation. Darn, what the heck was I going to, this is killing me. I'll think of it on the way home. Anyway, okay, Jennifer here in a survey with a whitening with the thing. Just for the record, I mentioned if you want to get in touch with us, one of the other reasons we hope you get in touch with us, since the podcast is free, is to maybe send us a little something. I just got a note from our buddy Tim, sends me something every month, something every month. Denise is at it again. God bless you, dear girl. So thank you notes are on the way. And apparently we're going the wrong way. Times are tough, and people are. Again, we have thousands. Actually, we're gaining in listeners and viewers, but we're dropping in subscribers. And I guess times are tough. And I made it a free. Well, we talked about it, but it's got my name on it. But I always said I want to make it free. I don't want to, have people charge to listen to it. But we really would appreciate it if you could maybe pump a little something. If you go to the Kimmer Show Facebook page, there's a PayPal thing right at the top, I believe, still there. Patreon.com/Kimmer Show is another possibility. Or the Pete Davis address, PeteDavis1@yahoo.com. It will give you an address, send us a check or whatever if you like.
I don't want to alarm anybody.
Yeah.
But the business model isn't working right now.
No, it's not. I have to get a job.
We base this on reaction we got when we started. We asked people, if we do it for free, how many people would support? We're talking $4 or $5 a month.
Yeah.
Thousands of people.
Yeah, we called it, give us a cheeseburger a month with, $3, $4 a month.
Thousands of people said they do it. We've never even got to 1,000 that have done it.
We have a lot more listeners, but just hundreds of subscribers.
And we know that the pandemic hit and the economic times and stuff like that. We know that.
But I really do.
But if you like the show and you want the show to continue,
we do. We really. I mean, and again, I feel I'm embarrassed even bringing it up. But the fact of the matter is, I really do need to go back to work or to make this work.
Sell drugs or
something.
Blood.
Well, just in fact, I've now I just to be totally candid with you, I have put in an application for the Dickens Cider Company.
Oh, really?
Because they have a subsidiary coming up in Alpharetta, and the Dickens people, they make the best cider. And if you're ever, you want to? Do they have a commercial?
Yeah, they do. But
I'm not sure.
Flounder doesn't like it when I play things on the phone. So you want to send it? It's the Dickens.
Yeah, the Dickens Cider Company.
I can send it. Let me tell you. You keep talking.
Anyway, so I filled out an application there, and again, if I'd like to be planning holiday parties and so forth. Make sure you keep that in mind.
You can play it on yours, and I'll beef it up.
You sure?
Yeah.
All right, hold everything. And by the way, I want to talk. Did we decide whether we want? We don't want Architectural Digest anymore, right? It's just the pictures of beautiful furniture and places we'll never afford.
Yeah, we don't.
I'm thinking of the time. There's a very famous, I won't mention his name, but I guess play golf with him up at Brookfield. Very famous Georgia Tech alum guy, and he's very well known on the golf course and in Georgia Tech circles. He's a huge fan. He's a big celebrator supporter, and well known at the club. And after my final divorce with my final wife, there was a party at his house, and of course I went, and he's got a beautiful, hot, younger wife and a beautiful house, and I looked around and said, geez, I used to have this.
This is not my beautiful house.
Wait a minute, where am I? I used to have a hot wife and a beautiful
Same as it ever was. Same as it ever was.
Not anymore. Anyway, no more Architectural Digest.
We'll do the Dickens Cider.
Yeah. The company, the Dickens Cider Company.
All right, let's see if we can.
All right, let's see if we can't get this.
Makers of Dickens Orange Juice and Dickens Lemonade. Yeah, because we felt there was a gap in the market that needed filling, so to speak. So we asked the company's founder, Anita Dickens, to come up with a brand new apple drink. And before we knew it, we had our Dickens Cider. When she's really parched, say open wider. She's gonna want a big Dickens Cider. Our new drink is aimed mainly at the active young female market. I mean, what health-conscious woman of the 90s wouldn't just love a big Dickens Cider? That's right, Nick. Scientific studies have proven that even a small Dickens Cider can relieve stress in most gals. Exactly. And at your next party, why not try serving up a hot Dickens Cider? Hey, Sonny, great bash, but it looks like your little lady could use another hot Dickens Cider. Mind if I do the honors? Sure thing, Nick. What are friends for? Hey, thanks, Sonny. Plus, Dickens Cider goes great with mixers, like 7-Up. I know my date just loves 7-Up and cider. Good point, Sonny. And hey, even though Dickens Cider is loved by women everywhere, it's great for us fellas, too. Right, Sonny? So true, Nick. I know once I have my Dickens Cider, I feel better almost immediately. And fellas, feel a little adventuresome? Why not let your Dickens Cider age for 3 weeks? Burn it hard. My date actually prefers a hard Dickens Cider. Hey, in this day and age, when a girl is concerned about what she's putting in her body, she'll just love swallowing down a huge Dickens Cider. It's all natural. You bet. Every Dickens Cider will give her a big old load of protein. And hey, gals, it comes in quarts. Yeah. So, fellas, pick up some Dickens Cider for your money today. Yeah, you can either get a Dickens Cider bottle or, do what I prefer, get a Dickens Cider can. Tonight, give your sweetie a big Dickens Cider. Because if you don't, we will. Why? Because we're the Love Brothers. Dickens. Dickens Cider is the best. Dickens. Do I want one? Yes, yes, yes.
Makers of...
It's Dickalicious.
Anyway, how much of that we may have to edit out or whatever.
No. That's Bob and Tom.
They're
such
the greatest.
A great show.
They're the greatest.
I mean, one I'm retired. But,
oh, they did retire?
Yeah, one retired.
They were from Indianapolis, not New York or L.A. They were in Indianapolis.
They were the best. Yeah. And they didn't work in Atlanta for some reason. One retired, and his son has replaced him.
Really?
The other one's son is on it now.
And they have a staff of like 12 guys, and there's just one big hootenanny. I mean, they just have more fun.
That was played on the radio.
Yeah, on the radio.
They got away with everything.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And again, I don't remember when they were on here, but it didn't last very long.
It was on 96 Rock after they let the regular guys go. And I think people were so mad about that they just didn't want to tune in.
Yeah.
And it didn't work here, but God, it was fun. You can go back and get all their best hits on DVD or CD or whatever. Yeah. You'll be laughing the whole time.
No, they're very hysterical. I mean, I can think of a few that I've heard off the top of my head. But if you go Google them, Bob and Tom.
The Godzilla thing. They would always have these Japanese guys calling from Tokyo, a bunch of Japanese guys, and at the end of the call, someone would mention Godzilla, and they'd all go nuts on the other end of the line. Godzilla!
Oh, mercy. I thought we were going to talk about the Hunter thing here in a minute, although, I heard on, who's the guy at 9 o'clock? Glenn Beck does the show on 106.3. And I was listening this morning. He's syndicated. You know him. And he has Bill O'Reilly on every Friday. And today they were talking about politics and what Bill O'Reilly thought of the races going around that are a big deal in the news. And, of course, they mentioned the governor's or the Senate race in Georgia. We're talking about that. And Bill O'Reilly actually said, well, Herschel Walker's a liar. The man's lying. I could never vote for him. All that stuff with that, I could never vote for him. And I thought, holy cow. Here's a nationally syndicated guy.
No one even knows he's on the air anymore.
I guess. Anyway, I thought that was pretty harsh.
Well, okay. Here's my response to that, and this wasn't mine; it was somebody else's. Blake put this out here, and John did too. I'm a hell of a lot more afraid of Warnock's future than Herschel's past.
Well, the reason I brought it up is because even today, Mike Luck, I Hate Americovich, has an idiot political cartoon, and it shows Freddy Krueger with his knife fingers and his hat and pockmarked face and stuff. And Freddy's holding a sign that says, Freddy Krueger for Republican Senator. There are two people, country people, a guy with a redneck hat on and stuff, and the girl is saying to him, who cares about his past? He'll protect us from Democrats. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the point. Herschel Walker will protect us from Democrats. Thank you, Mike Luck, I Hate Americovich.
Idiot.
That's exactly the point. That's exactly why I'm going to vote for him. Is he the perfect candidate? No, but he's different. He's not. He has been redeemed. And by the way, where does it get off that a minister doesn't believe in redemption?
I know. And believes in abortion.
Yeah, and not only that, if he's complaining that I think we might have mentioned it before, Herschel Walker, if he even did pay for a girl's abortion, Raphael Weifnacher wants to pay for everybody's abortion. Have you and me pay for everybody's abortion anyway? Also, from on the Republican side of the political cartoon today, from my friend Ramirez, who I think is hysterical normally. There's a shot of a guy with some empty chairs in front of him at an office, a civil defense type place, and a big headline says FEMA Disaster Relief Center mobile connector, and the one guy behind the desk answering the phone, I'm afraid we can't do anything about Vice President Harris. That's what for the equity relief line. Anyway, Hector sent me a message. I wonder if there's something I should. Here we. He sent. Is this it? He sent some. He's already done a jib jab.
He said it was hell to do, too.
He's already done a jib jab. We got to put it on the Facebook page then somehow. Thank you, Hector. Now go back to work, man. What are you doing listening to us after Friday afternoon? What are you sloughing off again? Anyway, now more. A couple things on the Herschel Walker thing here while we're on the topic. They're claiming that he paid for an abortion in 2009 with a woman who then later actually did bear one of his children. He said it's a plot by Democrats and Weifnacher to damage his campaign. Is desperate to make this race about my family. And his opposition to abortion and so forth. Let's see. Republicans are they're saying the Republicans are nervous, but not in a panic mode. Hopeful that they'll pay little attention to the developments or value his party affiliation. Some call it the Dana Loesch strategy. She's that kind of hot brunette, is on talk shows and does her own. The Dana Loesch strategy after her controversial take earlier this week. Quote, I don't care if Herschel Walker paid to abort endangered baby eagles. I want control of the Senate. Which I think is a perfect way to put it.
What do you think about Ben Sassy, Republican from Nebraska, quitting to be the president of Florida?
The University of Florida.
Now, that's a cushy job, but is that now are we screwed because of this? Has someone paid him off?
No, he's a Trump hater. He's one of the guys who voted to impeach Trump. What's the matter? Something bad? He's a Trump hater who goes along with that girl from Wyoming who lost her seat. He's a Trump hater from way back, so he's never been anybody we could ever count on.
But we can't have a Democrat.
I don't. Well, the problem is the governor's going to appoint somebody to fill the seat, and then there'll be an election in 2 years. So the chances are, it may be any sooner at the end of this year. I think January is when he starts.
Which party does the governor belong to?
I can't remember, and I don't know why I forgot to look it up.
Nebraska.
Nebraska governor.
Let's see here.
Staff.
Staff. Damn it.
It is?
Pete Ricketts, Republican Party.
Republican. Okay, thank you, God. And I think I assumed that's why I didn't look it up, because he was a Republican senator. But I mentioned this morning on 106.3 when I do my Friday morning call-in. Was that okay this morning? It sounded like we had a pretty good time.
Yeah, very good.
What time was it?
7:30 on Friday mornings. No, Pete isn't even home yet. Let alone
well, it depends. He may not have been to sleep yet.
Actually, I went to bed at 3 a.m. I was a good boy last night.
There you
are. That's when I was getting up.
There you
I
are.
got 7 good hours of sleep.
I'm surprised you're here at all. There are 2 playoff games on.
I'm recording them right now.
Okay, well, there you are.
Tampa was winning 1-0 when I left.
Oh, my. I don't really care about Tampa, but I think I want to see the Cardinals game. Philly and Cardinals, that could be interesting.
I
That's
don't like either one of those.
I don't either, but I don't like the American League. I don't like. Although, speaking of that, but I was going to mention it later, but I'll do it right now, and then I'll get back to the Warnock thing. There was even something. You might have sent it. I think you saw it. There was a video going around. Showed up on my phone from Facebook of that pitcher whose name escapes me throwing like 102-mile-an-hour fastball that moved about 2 feet. I mean, unbelievable. We mentioned the other day about how hard it is to be an umpire. It was the damnedest thing I ever saw. It was 100-and-something mile-an-hour fastball, and it looked like a changeup.
I guarantee you.
God, somebody's going to die.
In one of our lifetimes, yours, mine, or Flounders, they will move that mound back. There's no way if these guys will get up to 105. Once it's doing that, no one's going to be able to hit it.
It never used to be this close or this low, didn't they? No, let's see.
They moved it. They lowered it. 69, I believe, 68, 69.
Yeah. But I think they will. I wouldn't
They'll
be
have
surprised.
to move the mound back, or someone's going to get killed.
Yeah, or lose. Tony Conigliaro lost an eye.
And that's also batted balls back to the pitcher. Someone's going to get killed. They're going to get bigger, faster, stronger, and better. They're going to have to move the mound back.
Yeah. One more thing about Raphael Weifnacher. I mentioned this on 106.3 this morning. By the way, they were all of a sudden when I go on and a guy starts talking about how wonderful I am. It sounded like I died. I was doing an obituary.
Now you know how people will talk about you. He was a sweetheart.
Well, we lost him this morning. He
was a true sweetheart.
I couldn't believe it. I said, what did I do?
You know what you do? Next week.
It sounded like this is my last day.
Next week, I'll call in and I'll tell you guys, I'll let you guys break it since you are such good friends with him. But the Kimmer passed overnight.
He died.
And let's see what they say about it. And then you can come on your regular time and go, you assholes.
Anyway, it was very nice of him. But I mentioned when I called in this morning, and this I think was hysterical. Huge, full-page ad. Somebody finally with some common sense. Here's what it says: on August 7th, 2022. Raphael Warnock, Weifnacher, courageously voted to defeat an amendment by Senator Rubio that would have limited federal pregnancy services to biological women. Okay, so Raphael Weifnacher voted to defeat the amendment would have limited federal pregnancy services to women only, actual biological women. As the 50th vote to defeat the amendment, Senator Warnock has ensured that biological men have access to pregnancy, uterine, and gynecological care. While this means fewer resources for women, it ensures biological men are now finally on equal footing with so-called women in their ability to access OBGYN services, paid for by Citizens for Sanity. I mean, isn't that about time? I mean, finally. And if this had been, if someone had used I keep saying it all the time. It sounds like a broken record. If someone at the very beginning from the Democrat Party, someone, a moderate or someone they respected and trust, had just years ago say, whoa, wait a minute, defund the police? You want to take away? But no, that's stupid. And if they had said, you want to teach children that it's okay to change their gender if they feel like it when they're 9, no, that didn't sound so good either. And nobody had the balls to do it, and so we're still fighting this kind of fight. And finally, someone has said, they're calling themselves Citizens for Sanity, which
Bill Maher is the only one. But by the way, Monty Python predicted all this craziness in Life of Brian, which came out in 1979 or 1980.
One of his more
and
famous.
we only played one thing, so maybe we'll wait till Monday. But go back and look. It's all over on YouTube. It's Eric Idle is playing a man. And they're in old Palestine, old Israel, and everything, and they're trying to beat the Romans. It's back in Roman times, and they're in a little splinter group, and he wants to be a woman because he wants to have babies. And they're arguing with him. What the hell are you talking about? And two of them go, why don't we do this? Why don't we protest for his right to have babies? And John Cleese goes, what's the point?
And this is what, 50 years ago?
This is
40 years ago?
1980. 42 years ago. They predicted this craziness.
But again, I mean, just the very idea. But I was glad to see that finally someone is trying to use a little common freaking sense.
Kim and Like and Common Sense brought to you by FarmhousePrintingCo.com, because it's common sense to use these boys and girls down in Sonoya, Georgia for all your printing needs. They have laser engraving now. They do shirts and hats and signs and items like promotional items. No minimum order, no setup fees. It's FarmhousePrintingCo.com. They do all our T-shirts here at Kimmer Show and Holy Crap at Sports, Shannon Burke, whatever. They have all you need right there for everything printing, business cards,
And
posters,
they do a
whatever.
great job. T-shirts, hats, coffee mug. I mean, whatever you're looking at, they can take care of you. Good people. Our big tough guy, President Joe Pervert, border baby killer, meeting. Did you see this meeting with the mayor of Fort Myers, Florida? And he's trying to be all tough guy, and he says, "Yeah, nobody F's with the Bidens." You know, it just, give me a break. Here's a guy who walks like an erector set, little spaghetti arms. You know, he and was it Joe Popcorn? What was it? His Corn Pop, his gangster buddy that he saved from the gang wars or something in the steamy gang state of Delaware or whatever the hell. Anyway, he's acting like some big freaking tough guy. Nobody messes with the Bidens using the F-bomb. And I mentioned, he reminds me, I used this analogy once with Barack Hussein Putty-Tat. He's the same. This president, showers with daughter, is like a pigeon who shows up on the chessboard of a chess championship tournament, and the pigeon shows up on the chessboard, hops around like he's Mr. Big Shot, knocks over all the pieces, and then flies off thinking he won. You know, I mean, it's just, he just, shows up and does all this stuff and says, that was great, man. Appreciate your support. And it's unbelievable. I know. And I think he's not getting away with it as much as he always has until recently. I think they're finally, there's finally some members of the media, and not only his supporters, but columnists and other people are saying, all right, wait a minute, something's going on here. Is it me, or, I mean, are you getting that same impression?
Everybody can look. You just look at the lists that are on the Twitter of everything that's gone bad in the last 2 years. It's just, how about did you see any parts of the Arizona senatorial debate?
No.
Between Mark Kelly and the other guy,
but
Masters, or whatever.
Yeah.
Masters he ate his lunch.
Yeah, I heard his sound bites.
He said, this guy's voted with Joe Biden on everything, and this is what has happened, and this is
just
this
list
country
them.
Is going down.
The economy,
inflation.
gas prices, 401k. I mean, you could go down.
We went from world peace. Literally, the Arabs were signing peace treaties with the Jews of Israel.
Yeah.
We've gone from that to nuclear.
And energy independence.
Exporting energy.
Exactly the opposite.
To Joe Biden, the President of the United States, saying this week, we're on the verge of nuclear Armageddon.
Yeah.
At some point, somebody has to wake up.
And I heard a couple of people I respect debating this today, saying the problem is that Putin's nuts.
Yes, he's insane.
I mean, he's really
he's insane.
He may not be a megalomaniac, but he's on the edge of dangerous behavior.
Desperate.
And I don't know whether what would happen if he used a nuclear weapon, a small one, a strategic small nuke, a little tiny nuke, on some forces. What would he use it on in Ukraine?
If Trump was still president, you would hope that somebody behind the scenes would be talking to the Chinese saying, "You don't want a nuclear war. We don't want a nuclear war. This guy's batshit crazy."
Yeah.
And that the Chinese could put pressure on. But we don't have anybody doing that.
Putin never would have had the balls to do it, knowing when Trump was president, for the way Trump would have reacted. I mean, so...
We would have annihilated him.
Yeah. So anyway,
hell, the Europeans... I'm at the point now to think that as wussy as Europeans are, with our equipment and theirs, they could beat Russia without us.
Yeah. Well, we've given more money to Ukraine than the entire Russian military budget,
and nobody knows where it's gone. Have you seen the people have gone over there and they're saying we don't see any of this money?
Yeah, where's all the stuff they bought?
It's going in a black hole.
God, I mean, like we didn't know something bad was going to happen. All right, hold on. Coming up, I want to talk about the Hunter. I think he's going to make a deal, and it's going to be politically the only way to actually get to the bottom of everything.
By the way, Sophia says, "What the fuck, pigeons?"
Can't you get the visual though? And then Finch hopping in somebody out in the park. They're playing, chess out in the park, and then Finch comes along. I don't know. It was a visual in my head. I thought it would be.
Hector has posted the jib. Oh my God! It's Monster Mash.
I don't think I want to see. Oh, is that what it's doing? The Monster Mash.
He's got Shannon on here. He's drug everybody into it again. I'll just
How
keep
is Shannon
show. Let's see. It's basically a Halloween one.
Funny.
And
Is that
it
Julia
starts
Roberts
off with
I saw?
Shannon. Shannon is a mad professor.
Oh my God.
And he's putting us all together.
Oh, God. We'll talk about the Kanye West, White Lives Matter, Scooby-Doo. Some news about the oldest dog in the world, apparently, or at least in America. Jim Chad. Also, we mentioned, and it's coming true starting tomorrow, although it's hard to mention a date on the podcast. 285 is going to be a mess for almost another, starting tomorrow. At the interchange when you're around 400. Also, when you see something that says best used by date on it, do you believe them? And do you react to them
with eggs?
Well,
yes.
we have an update on that for you.
You can float eggs.
We have an update coming. Yeah, if they float, is it float? They're still good, right?
If they float, they're bad, I think.
Well, we should probably look that up because it's.
I'm not
50-50.
talking to the top. If they float just a little bit, I don't think it's good because gas is building up in there.
During the next week or so, we'll look that up and get back to you because we don't want to give them the wrong impression.
Now, milk. I've started drinking milk.
Oh, I just smell it.
I smell it.
But I also
sometimes
look at the date.
I'm not too good with that.
I never get to the full date.
But they say that the jug will pop out. That's why that has that indentation on the side. Have you noticed that it's a round indentation?
Yeah.
That if it's bad, it'll pop out.
Well,
now, I don't know if
I've
it'll do
never
that when there's a
seen
little
that.
bit of milk.
Yeah, I've never seen that. I've had milk that I know was bad that I've never seen anything pop out.
Lunch meat, I'm a little wary of.
Well, anyway, I have an update on that whole schmear.
No,
of
let's
the,
go down
the
the whole
thing.
list. Right.
Thank you so much. Or we could do that now. But first, how about you're driving along? And let's say you'd love to have a different car.
You'd love to have.
Oh, no, that's not what I meant. Anyway, so, well, here's the thing. Maybe you see a car you've always wanted. Check out this. One of our Kimmer Show podcast sponsors is SwapMyWhip.com. Whip is WHIP. SwapMyWhip.com. Whip being a colloquial phrase for a ride. You go to swapmywhip.com and find like-minded car owners who are saying, you know what, I might find something here on my own instead of going to the dealership and the middleman and salesman and stuff like that. And you might get an entirely better deal, swapping, making out your own arrangement. Maybe you got a friend who can be involved because the three of them, I mean, whatever. You just work out your whole deal. It's swapmywhip.com. And it's not just cars, obviously trucks, boats, jet skis, off-road vehicles, ATVs, stuff like that. SwapMyWhip.com. Check them out. And if you use the coupon code KIMMER, KIMMER, you get 180 days of free premium listings on SwapMyWhip.com. Check it out, and you might find yourself having a heck of a lot of fun. SwapMyWhip.com. Now, Hunter Biden. Once again, the FBI has been caught hiding evidence, keeping information secret. It looks, however, as though they have enough evidence now to charge him. Well, we've known that forever. But Twitter now is going nuts because of the story that broke, and this must have been leaked by an FBI agent who believes that it's time for him to put up or shut up, and that they're another whistleblower basically to show that there's plenty of evidence. And again, we've known this for 3 years, literally 3 years, but they have enough evidence to charge the son with tax crimes. And also lying on the federal purchase of a gun statement document that he had to sign, which we all, if you buy a gun, you all sign it. And now the U.S. Attorney's Office in Delaware has not said whether it's going to charge him. And someone said, well, no, the FBI has always said they're supposed to bring charges against people during the election. Hunter Biden's not running for anything. Neither is Joe. So that's no excuse. That's got nothing to do with anything. Neither one of them is up for re-election, which is supposed to be the rule, by the way. But here's some of the reaction of the liberals are going nuts. Washington Examiner, looking forward to the obviously a Russian disinformation opposition letter signed by all the decorated intel officials. And this is the Republicans who are saying we can't wait for them to say it's Russian disinformation. Obviously, the Russians are involved in setting up Hunter Biden, also the Saudis, and QAnon. Daniel Bostwick, the actor, I don't know who. Daniel, I don't know that. No, I know Bostwick, Barry Bostwick. I don't know Daniel. Quote: charging Hunter Biden for tax and firearm crimes is like charging Harvey Weinstein for mortgage fraud. James Bradley, running for Congress in California, charging Hunter for tax crimes and a false gun statement is like charging Alec Baldwin with murdering Halnia Hutchins. Ricochet editor-in-chief, WAPO told me this was Russian disinformation. They'll finally get away with it. But liberal users, quick one or two, Ellie Mistel from The Nation said, well, since apparently it's okay for the Justice Department to leak now, can we get some information about when you're going to charge Donald Trump? Radio host Dean Obadala, if Hunter Biden's indicted, does that mean 100% DOJ will be indicting Donald Trump? I mean, one after another. They have enough to charge Hunter Biden with tax and gun crimes. Fine, if they're going to charge the son of a sitting president, they sure as hell better charge a former president. I mean, it goes on. It's unbelievable.
The theory is they'll come out, the DOJ, and they'll go after Hunter with this small-time shit.
Right.
And then they'll come out and hit Trump with some major
And
stuff.
with felony stuff.
Saying, see, we're equal. We're doing both sides.
And
when they're not.
Yeah, no, they're not doing both sides. And by the way, Hunter Biden will never go to court. Hunter, if they actually indict and charge him, he will make a deal so freaking fast. He'll pay $500,000 in fines and be on probation for 10 years and never be able to be in business with tax records or something. You guarantee you.
Well, he'll go to a detox center.
He'll never go to jail for filing a false affidavit for his gun permit. He'll never see any jail time. He'll probably be convicted by pleading guilty to lesser charges, and Democrats are going to say, well, that's over. It had nothing to do with Daddy Joe, was not involved in any of this stuff.
Yep.
So
Exactly
they'll think that it's over and free and clear. And again, the only way to get to the bottom of everything of this Biden crime family, again, these people are worse than the Clintons because they've been doing it longer.
Yeah, 50 years.
I mean, really, when you think about it, they're worse than the Clintons. Joe was on the take from the credit card companies in Delaware back in the 60s
the
and 70s.
brother's been in on allegedly some of this.
Brother Jim, yeah, absolutely. Anyway, so he'll basically get away with it until Republicans take control and start having hearings where they put people under oath.
But will they ever do hearings about the Epstein Johns?
Well, they might.
No, because there's Republicans involved.
Well, that's true too. But again, I'm much more concerned with Hunter Biden and the communist Chinese and the Russians and the Biden crime family than I am about whether whatever it was you said there.
The crisis on Milky Way candy bar.
They're not available anymore, and I'm sick of it. Now I'm eating 2. By the way, I've lost 4 pounds this week, and I'm eating 3 candy bars a night.
By the way, you are Frankenstein, but all you are is teeth, and I'm Dracula, and Shannon is the mad thing. We got to get Hector a picture of you because he's using John Boy and Chad.
He's got to get
Thanks,
updated.
Hector.
Now, let me ask you this. Let's say, just in case, and this will never happen, if Hunter Biden gets convicted and is sentenced to jail for 30 days even or whatever, or is convicted of a federal crime, do you think his father will pardon him?
No, he'll let him go and play tennis or golf in North Carolina for a few days.
Yeah. And if, how about this? If Hunter Biden is convicted and sent to jail, how do you think the Democrats who believe in violence for their democracy views, how do you think the Democrats in this country will react if Hunter Biden gets convicted and goes to jail? They'll burn down this. They'll burn down the
they
country.
Don't care. I don't think they care about Hunter. Unless it affects Joe, they don't care.
Well,
about
it will affect Joe. They're going to say he did this to try to affect the election. I just think, you can't trust these people.
And it's in Delaware, isn't it? I mean, they're not going to touch Joe Biden.
Yeah.
He runs that place.
Well, it's only going to be Republicans taking control of office.
It's so corrupt. The whole
I know,
federal
it's disgusting.
swamp is just so corrupt.
And it's been going on. They had Bobulinski on again, and he's got the documents. He says, I was. And by the way, he's never been interviewed by the U.S. Attorney in Delaware. I know. They've never talked to him. The grand jury's never called him. How could you not call Hunter Biden's business as a partner?
It's all a farce. It's just it's a really bad joke on us, the American people, and half this country doesn't give a shit. They're too stupid.
It's very. It's disheartening. I hate to do that on a Friday, be disheartening on a Friday, although, podcast. Kanye West. I'm not sure how to... I wish you'd seen part of it because I value your opinion.
Warning here.
Uh-oh.
He says, Brent, I have added your face to my.
So,
You are
Oh,
no
he did
longer
it?
safe.
Hector with the jib jab. You're screwed. Kanye West said he was on Tucker last night. I guess it was the whole. I think he probably did it, recorded it in advance. But anyway, it was like the whole show basically. And Kanye West said, among other things, that Black Lives Matter is a fraud. He said, he talked to a quote from the mother of Breonna Taylor. Again, Breonna Taylor case, again, those cops got screwed. Breonna Taylor case, she was a gun mall's drug gangland financial advisor and was
Driver.
She helped him hide a body. I mean, she was a gang mall. Okay, she was a gang mall and helped them, be successful as gang bangers. She was living with a guy whose address was what the cops had to go arrest him. The cops got to the door, bang, bang on the door, police, open up, dang, dang, and somebody inside shot him. Somebody inside shot at the police, so the police fired back. Somebody got killed. Breonna Taylor got killed after the cops got fired upon, and now the cops got arrested and charged and went to jail. They're going to go to prison for. I mean, it's just the whole thing is just
bullshit.
a disgusting nightmare. Anyway. Black Lives Matter jumped in on this saying, Black Lives Matter is another case where the police don't care about black lives. Well, guess what? Breonna Taylor called the organization's Louisville chapter where this happened a fraud. I have never personally dealt with Black Lives Matter Louisville. Personally, have found them to be a fraud. Taylor's mother made the comment talking to the state representative, I've watched y'all raise money on behalf of Breonna's family who has never done a damn thing for us, nor have we needed it or asked, so talk about fraud. Breonna Taylor, the black woman in Louisville killed, but Kanye West offered to pay the legal bills that the family would incur in future litigation, by the way. And Kanye West got in trouble for calling Black Lives Matter a fraud. We know that's true now. I mean, there's still tens of millions of dollars which nobody can find.
No one has no.
Kanye West unveiled his White Lives Matter T-shirt at his Yeezy fashion show in Paris, adorned with the image of the late Pope John Paul II. Liberals went nuts. I mean, they
Not only that, he said he said he was pro-life.
Yeah. Well, he's pro-Trump. Anyway, he said in a letter, Kanye West said, "Here's my latest response when people ask me why I made a T-shirt that says White Lives Matter. They do." He said, "Everybody knows Black Lives Matter was a scam. Now it's over. You're welcome." Black Lives Matter hasn't responded. But
Guess who wants her $900,000 back she gave to Black Lives Matter?
who?
Sharon Osbourne.
Oh, no kidding.
She's caught. The New York Post wants you refund.
I'm surprised there aren't a lot more people. Look at all the companies.
Well, they're afraid to.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, this is really disgusting.
Despicable.
All the companies that the woke companies that gave them millions of dollars.
Yeah.
These freaking cowards. You dirty freaking stinking cowards.
They made the Rainbow Coalition
Jeez.
and Jesse look like panhandlers on the street.
Yeah. Wash your windshield for $1. I mean, and they got away with it from everybody. I mean, every liberal and every moderate was afraid not to. I mean, again, these are the people who would go to restaurants and demand that white girls bow down to black guys. Remember that? They were pulling that kind of crap a couple years ago?
Yeah.
Jesus. George Floyd, the gangbanger who fought police and died of a drug overdose.
When I think of that, I think of the final Bond film where he made Bond kneel down and get down.
Yeah.
And the whole time Bond's reaching to pull out a gun.
Yeah. I wish I'd have been there if he tried that with my blonde wife. Anyway, a couple other things here. Scooby-Doo. Fans have long held that Velma Dinkley.
Yeah.
Well, we all know she was a lesbian.
Come on.
Well, it's official now. The Cartoon Network has a Halloween special, and the viral clip tweeted this week shows the character disarmed, blushing, and her glasses fogging up when she encounters a new character named Coco Diablo in Trick or Treat Scooby-Doo. Jinkles, sighs Velma. When Velma's finally confirmed to be the latest of the LGBT, QR, whatever, plus things there. creatives Pink saying they've tried to disambiguate Velma's sexuality. Disambiguate. I swear to God.
Where was ambiguous?
Have you tried to disambiguate, then to try to make her less ambiguous? It's called disambiguating.
It's like
Holy
the
crap.
ambiguously gay duo.
Yeah. Ren and Stimpy or whatever.
Well, that was the Saturday Night Live Batman and Robin ripoff.
They
drove the phallic car.
Yeah.
Remember they like, and they were
Pow,
flying,
boom.
they'd be riding each other.
Anyway.
So Biden has said something very dumb again, and I think we should hear it.
Please do. Right. Let's do that.
This is set up here, so we'll do it this time.
So stay tuned. In the next 15 minutes, we will hear Joe Biden.
Start off with 2 words. Made in America.
Dan Quayle.
We just talked about that yesterday.
Just did a quail.
Oh, my God.
Will we hear about that?
No.
Will they make fun of him like they did Dan Quayle?
No, oh, please. Have you heard about the very hot athletic trainer female in California who's now been charged with sexually abusing high school football players back when they were between 14 and 17, and she's a dish. And she's the daughter of a famous California high school football coach who's been an icon for 50 years or whatever. And his daughter was an athletic trainer and has been accused of sexually abusing the football players who were the stars of the team and who were the low-income members of the team, as though that's one of the problems with it.
Can I just say one thing?
Please do.
Because this really pisses me off.
Yes.
This touches close to home.
Yeah.
Where the blank were these women when I were in high school?
I'm sick and tired of that. I went to my prep school was all boys. My God, man, can you believe?
The
by
best
the way,
we had was our journalism teacher, who was hot for a teacher.
Yeah.
But that was it. That's
and
all we had.
I was a 3-year, 3-sport letterman and co-captain of the football team. And apparently, guys like me used to get the special treatment.
She never touched me inappropriately or appropriately.
This between 2002 and 2006, she was athletic team trainer for the team. Her name is Tiffany. Abused 6 varsity football players at the Colton High School. She's the daughter of a very famous football coach there in California. She was giving them, quote, special treatment, and all the officials at the school were aware of it. It was alleged to have extended to the team's star players. She performed that heavenly tribute of godliness from you lovely ladies.
That's not abuse. You know damn well.
It's a wonderful.
Let's be real.
Thank you, dear lady of
Every
God.
high school boy's dream is to have an older woman do that.
Exactly.
I'm sorry.
The wonderful gift of your sweet lusciousness, and that other way, the normal way of giving yourself up to the players. A practice these students had dubbed getting spatted, which is when they tape your ankles up. It's called getting spats because they look like spats. So they call it getting spatted, which this chick would do that. The guys are all now in their 30s. The lawsuit alleges that things have unfolded inside the locker room, as well as training rooms, weight rooms, classrooms, bathrooms, homes, and in vans on the way to sporting events. God!
Did she force her way on them?
Apparently not. No,
probably not.
There's a lawsuit alleging they shared a picture of her going down the highway of love, let's say, thing there. It's just making like a trucker and driving south. I don't know, whatever you want to call
it's
it.
4th and 10.
They're taking the load all the way to Florida, baby. I'm fairly sure about that. And apparently some of the kids were from low-income families and needed rides or food money. And they're claiming now that she took advantage. The whole thing.
I don't believe any of it.
And she was hot.
I'm sorry. There is a difference between the sexes. If this is a male doing it to a girl, of course it's abuse.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah,
it's a good-looking woman doing it to. I'm telling you, unless I'm sure there's some boys that probably would have been weird about it.
If it was at a Catholic school where there was a particular thing,
God, we would all been bragging to each other.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. That's exactly how it is.
Believe me. And what 14, 15-year-old, 16-year-old kid didn't have a crush on somebody's mother or the nurse?
Okay, back in our days, we were late developing. I really didn't think much about sex till I was 15 or 16, even though I knew about it. But that's when I got serious about it.
Yeah,
15 or
no,
16.
I knew. Yeah,
That's
I
when
was-
you would have been.
Yeah, I started going nuts.
If it's
in
under
those.
15 in high school, then
Oh, that's perfect. I mean, that's kinky. Yeah.
there's something wrong with her.
Yeah.
I'm not saying there's
Most
something
of
wrong
them,
with
they
her.
said between 14 and 17.
Now, if you're 17
Well,
and
remember
the
Mary
teacher's
Kay-
giving you a Hummer, you're bragging to
Mary
everybody.
Kay Letourneau married the guy, the
I know. She
14-year-old
ended up marrying him.
guy. A salute and a memory of happiness to the world's oldest dog named Pebbles is crossing the Rainbow Bridge after just a few months shy of her 23rd birthday.
What kind of dog?
Teeny one. The picture of her shows her as a little terrier. The family, a once-in-a-lifetime companion. She was in Taylor's, South Carolina. She had 32 puppies in her lifetime with her partner dog Rocky, and they were together and they kept having babies. 32 puppies were together. Rocky died in 2016. They were together for more than 10 years, apparently, or longer than that, I guess. More than 10 years ago, Pebbles' veterinarian placed her on a cat food diet, which is higher in meat-based protein than dog food.
Huh.
I have no idea.
What, does that mean they fed her cats?
They fed her cats, live cats, mostly. They let her tear them to shreds. Anyway, she was a record holder, the oldest dog anybody ever knew, apparently, which I had no idea. 23 years old is a whole...
That's a life.
Yeah, that's a lifetime. And again, you have to wonder, and I think did God make it that way? Because a pet... What if a dog lived to be 70?
No, you can't, yeah.
But again, I mean,
Then no one
who's
would
to
have
say?
one. No one would have one.
A tortoise lives, yeah, exactly. A tortoise lives to 70. Nobody has that as a pet. But clearly, a pet can't live that long because it outlived the family,
I know. And
it would be a disaster. Yeah. But again, do you think you think that nature, God, whatever, the designer planned it that way, or just it happened to be that species we realized didn't live that long, so we accepted them as pets? I mean, I wonder how that worked. You know what I mean?
We know how dogs. I've told you before. There's a great book called The Wolf in the Parlor, which says what happened 20,000 years ago when we accepted wolves, pups into the fire, basically around our fire and campfires for protection. They evolved to help us, and we evolved to basically help them.
Yeah.
We were what they call symbiotic with each other. In fact, our brains actually decreased a little bit in size because we didn't need that hunter watching thing as much.
Help.
That was the dog's job.
Yeah, but I wonder whether things like horses that are too big to be a pet live 20, 30, 40 years. But again, they're not a household pet. I just wondered how it came to be that cats and dogs don't live to be 50 and are the household pets. But it was just out of curiosity. A couple things. Again, I don't know what to make of this, but Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt, they've been in a fight since 2016, fighting over their property, a French home and winery in France. And Angelina fired documents, actual court documents, where she claims traveling from the winery Chateau Miraval to Los Angeles on a plane. Brad Pitt verbally attacked her and the children. He pulled her into the bathroom and began yelling at her. Britt grabbed Jolie by the head and shook her, then grabbed her shoulders and shook her again before shoving her into the bathroom wall. One of the children, who was between 8 and 15 at the time, verbally defended his mother, Jolie. And Brad Pitt lashed out, lunging at his own child, and Jolie grabbed him from behind to stop him. To get her off his back, he threw himself backwards into the airplane seats, injuring her back and elbow. The kids rushed in to act bravely to protect her, but Brad Pitt choked one of the kids and struck another in the face. Then he subsequently poured beer on Angelina Jolie and poured beer and wine on the children. Jolie gave an account of all this on the flight to 2 FBI investigators, because it was on an airline. It was agreed that criminal charges would not be pursued.
Now,
Anyway,
when did she say this?
this was filed, I believe, in a 2016. She said it, court document in 2016. Well, I don't know what to tell you. I'm just saying it's a court document, which surprised me.
Why is it coming out now?
But what's the politics of them? I don't know. Distract us from Biden, maybe?
No, I'm not about that. That has nothing to do with that.
I don't know why it came. Well, it came out now because they're going through the fight in court and somebody released the document for original
you know
charges.
what's coming out to divert our attention? I don't know if you noticed this. I was watching TV last night, and there's a new movie coming out next month.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's about a young black boy in Chicago in the 50s.
Yeah.
Who was sent down, and of course, Chicago is the epitome of civilization.
Yeah.
And they sent this young black kid down, and he looks like he's just this baby faced innocent. And he probably was. They sent him down to Mississippi, and someone kills him because he looked at a white
Yeah,
woman
I'll
or
be
something like
damned.
that. The movie's called Till.
Yeah, Emmett Till.
And I'm
yeah.
thinking, so we're not seeing any movies about minority kids, black and brown kids being killed every weekend
the
in
Christmas
Chicago.
parade, or every 2 hours somebody gets shot in Chicago
not
by
seeing
black
movies
people.
Like, not seeing movies in New York City about Hasidic Jews being murdered and beaten by black men,
Right.
or Asian
Asians. Yeah.
from L.A. to San Francisco to New York. No movies about that.
Yeah.
But we'll drag something out from 70 years ago
Yeah,
about
that's
the
right.
South.
Yeah.
It to show, well, let's divide the races again and make some money
Yeah.
off that, because the stuff happening now we can't fix and
Yeah.
we can't make money off of. But by God, we can make money off
know.
shit from 70 years ago in Mississippi.
I know.
And they're dragging this stuff up to divert attention from what's going on in Chicago and Baltimore and Detroit and Philadelphia and New York and Atlanta and LA and San Francisco and Seattle.
Yeah.
It's horseshit.
I know. Again, it's an October surprise that I guess just another thing. I hope I don't think their diversion of the issues is going to work. I think the Democrats are going to get pounded.
Every time you
pretty
go to the
good.
grocery store or go gas up or
Yeah.
something like that, you got to
about-
see what's going
think
on.
about
Well,
your
not only
life.
that, they're talking about, and we were talking about this on the show this morning, is it's pretty obvious we're going to get the House back, but now there's a good chance the Senate, because of Arizona, here, and then where's
yeah.
Dr. Oz and that fruit
Pennsylvania.
senator?
Yeah.
Yeah. Still, but here's the thing: the president of the United States just said this is the worst nuclear problem since the '62 Cuban Missile Crisis. By the way,
Right.
another Democrat in office
Right,
at the time,
Jack Kennedy.
I'm saying wake up, Democrats! We're on the verge of nuclear war over Ukraine.
Yeah. Yeah, I was in my sophomore year in prep school, and I remember walking in the day of the Cuban Missile Crisis when the news broke, and my teacher, the master, the guy who taught the course, the teacher, was a World War II veteran. Who had a bunch of holes in him from, I mean, man, he was saying, he was really freaked out about
Japs
it.
and Krauts and Dagos.
Yeah, I mean, oh man, he really fired up. I'll never forget. I remember his name was Rutledge. He's kind of a guy talks like this, you know. He's a tough guy. He's real tough. He was a soccer coach too. He was a tough guy. See, World War II, you know, we used to have guys who used to have to lay down in the barbed wire so you could run over in the back. But he said them little holes are a lot better than big ones, you know. I think, oh, Jesus, you know.
I can see his class.
Swear to God.
Where someone like you pipes up and goes, "Well, didn't we cut off Japan's oil and steel before the war and give them no chance?"
I wouldn't have known. I was.
Is that what you think happened?
We had one of my kids in our
Mr.
class
Helper?
is Franny Spina, was one of my prep school buddy kids, and he is now on the Supreme Court of the state of Massachusetts.
Oh boy.
From my Patrick Gray, L. Patrick Gray, the FBI
I
director,
remember him.
his son was in. I went to prep school with him. Anyway, a quick thing here. Holy Crap of Sports, you've already done it. It's on ESPN, and ABC has the afternoon game, I guess. But
Yeah, we got
ESPN
ABC,
almost
and
the
then
rest
we
of
got then we go back to ESPN, I think,
ESPN
for the
for
next
almost the rest
two,
of
or
them.
MLB or something.
Draymond Green, practice session, and there was it a rookie with him or a younger player?
Some guy.
Anyway, and they were drawing, as I understand it. I haven't seen the video or seen, but they were drawing Draymond Green. Is he the Michigan State guy?
I don't know.
And I think I've seen him interviewed. Is he pretty smart? Does he sound intelligent? I mean, I think it was somebody else. Anyway, I think he's pretty smart. I think he went to Michigan State, and I've seen him interviewed, and I think he's one. He
That's kind
sounds
of an
very intelligent.
oxymoron there, isn't it?
Anyway, being a master's degree from Michigan State. Thank you. And they're drawing at each other, and then somebody steps in and pushes him, and Draymond Green actually punches the guy in the head so hard it literally knocks him out.
I don't know if it knocked him out.
They're
This
teammates.
happens all the time.
I don't think
in
it happens all the
practices.
time.
Oh yeah, there's several basketball players come out and said this happened. Michael Jordan punched Steve Kerr in the face. Remember that?
Wow. No, I don't.
And they went on to win the championship that year.
Yeah.
Gave him a black eye.
Okay. Well, again, I mean, I hope it's not. I hope it. But again, I heard discussion on our 106.3. The guys were saying if there were any other job that you had where you punched a guy out and knocked him out, you would be fired immediately.
They say it's over money.
And all the players are saying, we'll take it. A locker room
Well,
thing.
first of all,
We'll
they
take
say
care
that
of
the
it.
guy was running his mouth, that he's known as a smart mouth. And Draymond only took it so you can only put up with so much. Supposedly, they've given him a contract, and they're waiting till after the end of the season to give Draymond, and supposedly that has caused tension between the two.
Jeez.
Which means the management did it.
Yeah. Well, there you are.
What do you think about Buck Showalter allegedly is not going to pitch DeGrom in the first series against the Padres unless they're in an elimination game?
Yeah.
He's saving them for the Dodgers or whoever else they're going to play. That if I'm the
Why
Padres,
do you save
I'm
anybody
like,
for anything? I mean,
well, because you'll have your fourth or fifth pitcher up against the Dodgers.
well, I mean, obviously you don't want to have
Braves
your last
or-
year of the thing, but geez, I mean, I don't know.
It's ballsy, and
Yeah.
he did it before when he was with the Yankees with David Cohn, and they didn't go and win the World Series.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, remember for a while. Remember the old scheme where they would have a late inning guy or a closer come in and pitch one inning or one or two innings.
they kind of got away from that this year.
It's
even,
gone.
even Tampa, they kind of got away
Yeah.
from that this year.
But some of the team, there was a lot of success with it.
That for a little
Where
while.
they started off the first two innings where nobody could score, and then then you start your game, which is a funny way of thinking about it.
I think first two. I think it kind of burns your pitching stuff probably a little more than you wanted.
If you need an
And
extra
second, I
pitcher.
think Tampa Bay got better starters.
Yeah.
that they could.
Yeah,
put in there.
it's a scheme if you don't have really a couple of aces to go with your first.
I know today they put their ace McClanahan out there. They didn't do that.
Really?
Starters.
I didn't.
They
I
may
haven't
do
seen
it later.
anything of it. A couple of quick things here. Delta, if you fly Delta, is making it harder and harder to get your elite status of your medallion stuff. They're raising the spending threshold to reach gold, platinum, and diamond medallion status. It used to be to get gold used to be $6,000. Now it's $8,000. Platinum used to be $9,000. Now it's $12,000. And to get diamond status, used to be $15,000. Now you got to spend $20,000. Because so many people are flying, and there have been so many people saying, "Hey, there's a long wait to try to get into the Sky Miles places and the expedited baggage service and stuff." Sky Miles American Express cards in turn drive billions of dollars for the financial benefits for Delta. And they're saying this is really a scheme. It's about maximizing credit card activity for the airline more than the people who are flying. Frequent flyers complain about long lines to get into Delta Sky clubs, hard getting complimentary upgrades on flights. And airfares have risen 33% over the last year, and more people are starting to fly again, and so they're making it harder to get so taking advantage of all the increased prices and making it harder for you to take advantage of the perks you used to get, which I guess they're all doing. And what are you going to do about it? Are we going to fly somewhere else? You're going to drive? Anyway, that's what I love to do. A couple quick things. Again, 285 lane closure starting this weekend. It's going to last for almost a year between Roswell Road and Ashford Dunwoody. I mean, that's the 400 interchange area. It's going to be a nightmare. Have fun. Hey, how about you there, Flounder? Isn't that right?
what?
Where you come up in the
It'll be
ballpark?
quieter for me since.
Well, no, I mean it'll depend because when I go to work, it's not going to make a difference because I'm leaving at 3:30 in the morning. But
yeah.
coming back, I'm hoping I can get off right there at Roswell Road, like you would take a right to go to your place.
It's going to.
But the thing is, I'm assuming they're going to have that exit complete
Start
to,
earlier or
to where they can, there's going to be a lot of traffic coming through.
They're
there.
working on it now.
Yeah,
It's a disaster now.
the thing is I mean, it's improving because I go past it every day, so I'm seeing the progression, but it needs to go faster.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's going to be.
It's going to be a shit show.
It's going to be almost a year, probably. Anyway, just for the record.
Depending. I'll know in the next week or two, but we maybe starting the podcast a little later, depending on how.
God, I hadn't thought about that. Well, we'll just
Again,
whatever.
Fortunately, y'all don't have to drive through there, so you're just coming here. But
I'll be coming up underneath 285 and 400.
yeah, but the thing is you're just going over to. You could take Roswell Road all the way to my place.
Yeah,
Although, I come down again. I've tried to stay off 400 because it's just too aggressive, and I can't keep fighting people without ready. I'm going to freaking shoot somebody, so I just stay the hell off it unless I have to. But so I'm coming down through Roswell, and there's the Roswell Road or the Alpharetta Highway or whatever the street is like a 3-lane highway to go down. Get on to Roswell Road. And so going north, it's 2 lanes going north, green light, and only 1 lane going south. And coming down this morning, there's 1 lane coming down, and then the lanes merge in together, and it's a real nightmare. They're thinking about trying to widen everything, but you can't really widen it because there's nowhere to go. But every single time, people are in the wrong lane, and they know they're going to get cut off because there's construction, and everybody knows it, and they still get in the wrong lane and then dive in front of somebody. And I knew I was going to be in the wrong lane and in the left-hand lane, and I knew somebody was going to cut me off. And today, you know what I did?
Let him in.
I said, you know what? I was early. I'm driving. In fact, Flounder, I'm leaving early. I sit in your parking lot for 10 minutes usually. Just get. Well, no, it's good thinking time, and I just kind of I like the nice fresh air,
Totally.
and I just take notes.
There's been a couple times where I've taken my trash out or whatever, and you haven't seen me, and I've waved at you. I'm like,
well, I'm usually doing something.
What are you doing in there?
Well, I'm doing something. No, anyway.
You have tinted windows.
I got
I'm
tinted
afraid to
windows,
look
so
in
you
there.
can't see anybody else's head. Anyway, so now what the hell was I talking about? Oh, driving down. And so I said to myself, you know what? I'm going to get in the proper lane. I know somebody's going to cut me off, and it's going to be more than one's going to cut me off. And I'm going to have to wait for the guy turning left ahead of me and everything else. Yeah. And I don't care. And I'm going to accept it. I'm going to just listen to the radio and take do my thought process. And I let it happen. And sure enough, there were people who were like that. And I didn't bonk my horn, didn't react. I just let it happen and tried to just sort of have a whole different thing because I wasn't in a hurry. And I think that's my whole mindset now. Because I'm at the stage of my life where I'm so angry about what's going on in my country that if there is a revolution, I'm in. So if I can try to calm down my daily driving habits and so forth, I'm doing it.
Let me reenact Kimmer driving these days. This is Kimmer driving these days.
No, I never do anything. I never have anything. I never do that.
Not even with the swatter?
No. Fill me a bowl, Flounder. I'm coming home.
Pony boy, take me home.
No, I don't. I never have
That's the
anything.
only good thing about the cars that drive themselves. It's like the old days where you get on your say, Pony boy, take me home, and the horse would take you home. Just get in your car and say, take me home.
Oh, I thought of what the thing I thought about before that I couldn't think of.
All right.
That sounds
Let's see if I
good.
can make you forget again.
One quick sort of a crime thing that I parents, this is so bad. Clayton County, Jonesboro, Crystal Williams and Jordan Witt have been arrested for second-degree cruelty to children, deprivation of minor, reckless conduct. They are the parents of 7-year-old Kimoriona Williams, who was on Terra Boulevard with her two siblings who were 9 years old, or two other children who were 9 years old, and they were on Terra Boulevard at a hotel, and they were left alone. And the 7-year-old girl, Kimoriona Williams, wandered onto Terra Boulevard at 2:00 in the morning and was hit and killed by a car. The police investigated, found the girl was all alone and nobody else was around. 2:00 in the morning. So they start knocking on doors at hotels in the area and see a door that's open at a hotel on Terra Boulevard and walk in, and there were two 9-year-old kids sleeping. The 7-year-old was in their family, and she was just wandered out the door and got hit by a car on Terra Boulevard. The parents were nowhere to be found. They had left them alone at 2:00 in the morning. Again, there's no test to be a parent. And I guess they figured 9-year-olds would take care of a 7-year-old, or she wouldn't wander by. I mean, what are you thinking? Anyway, I just very quickly, we mentioned the test label thing the other day. There's an article that's just come out. I always look at Best Buy. In fact, that's why I get my milk. I don't drink a lot of milk. I don't drink milk by the glass usually, unless I want some chocolate milk, and I'll do it. But generally speaking, I put milk in my coffee in the morning. That's it. So I buy a half gallon. Or a quart? Do I buy a quart or a half? I don't buy whatever. And I look at the Best Buy day because I know I'm not going to drink it all by the date it's gone. So I always get it in advance.
You buy milk at Best Buy.
No. The best buy this by the date. The best date to buy it by.
They
It's
sell
called
milk
the
at
Best Buy
now.
date. Best B-U-Y, not
okay.
Best Buy B-Y. Best buy this by the best date to buy this by is Oh my God! Are you doing this on purpose, you bastard?
Okay, who's crazy here, me or him?
Oh, I know what he's
Well-
talking about because when you're buying milk, you want to buy the furthest date out.
Freshest one, the farthest
Yeah,
away
The
that it
farthest
goes
date.
back.
So you don't
That's
never,
called
so
the
you don't ever
best
buy
by date.
Yeah, you always
Okay.
get the one in the back.
And it's stamped on everything these days. Well, the problem is people are throwing away the food and things like that because they look at the date and assume it's old. But for one thing, the 4 million tons a year are thrown out because of the best by date label. But there are no federal rules, and as manufacturers put the date on by themselves. Nobody says, oh, it's got to be 7 days after it's come out of the pasteurizer or whatever. And they just believe this when their product will taste best. Only infant formula is required to have a use-by date. Everything else is up to the person. They're saying that milk can be safely consumed up to a week after the use-by date. Canned goods and other packaged foods can be eaten for years after they're dead.
We all saw Walking Dead. They're surviving on pork and beans from years ago. Come on.
Hell, when I was at Paris Island at Camp Lejeune, we were eating sea rations from World War II. And they were great. Anyway, our bodies know when something's bad, and I smell the milk. I can tell when the milk starts going thing. I immediately don't fool around with it because I know it's going to go bad because I open it up, use a little bit of it, and by the week it's going to be bad because it's been open. Anyway, whatever. Okay, hold on. We've got
That segment will not be on the Saturday show.
No, it won't. But this might as well. Dead Crow Defense. You know, Dead Crow Defense is killing the competition with the best ammo prices since before the pandemic. They have all the calibers. Flounder needed some 9mm. Got it from Dead Crow Defense. And if you go to deadcrowdefense.com, you can see what they have available. It's not a gun store. It's your arms dealer. It's your personal gun dealer, and it's not just guns and ammo. Go to the website, deadcrowdefense.com, and you can see the in-stock items they have or what they can get for you. It's personal safety gear and equipment, security stuff, things like that. And I'm going to give you a phone number and a way to get to them, deadcrowdefense.com, to see what they have. If it's in stock, and most of this stuff is, if it's in stock, it goes out the next day. No fooling around. It's old-fashioned customer service. And if you need something, I'll give you the sales at deadcrowdefense.com to get a hold of them, and they'll get right back to you to find out what it is you're looking for because they'll get it for you. In fact, here's their phone number. If you're in a hurry for something or in a pinch, here's a phone number, deadcrowdefense.com. Here's the number, area 678-576-9117, or shoot them an email at sales@deadcrowdefense.com. Don't forget now, when you're online, use the promo code KIMMER, KIMMER, at checkout for 10% off your first several orders at deadcrowdefense.com. Yeah, wowsy, bing, bang, boom. Let's see. Pete, do I hear there's a Ask the Kimmer?
There's a new Ask the Kimmer segment. Let me find it here. By the way, we lost both Bernard McGurk from the Imus Show.
That's right.
And Judy Tenuta yesterday.
I just saw Judy Tenuta, and McGurk was the guy who was on Don Imus for years, but he also had his own show, which I didn't really know, but he was famous as a character with
One of the
on Don
funniest
Imus.
men you would ever
And he was only 64, prostate cancer.
His thing
Got
at the
him.
when he make fun of the Cardinal up in New York City. Oh, but
he
Jesus,
was-
I would have been Jesus. You know.
Yeah, in fact, I used to use that. I am top of the morning to Jesus and the top of the morning, me boyo. I mean, I got that from
Bernard.
him, I think, from
He was
Don
funny.
Imus. Yeah, Don
And I
Imus,
always thought Judy Tenuta was kind of hot, actually.
I thought she was kinky hot, where she was, freaky, kink, and cute. She was
Yeah.
cute, very cute. I don't remember anything about her, her body, but I remember
Well, she had
was
that
a cutie.
accordion. You couldn't tell.
Yeah,
And
that's right. Yeah,
And she,
she was
hadn't-
freaky.
I hadn't thought of her in years. Did she retire? And then, she was
I
in her
don't know what
60s when
happened
she
to her.
passed. But
Yeah, but she was one of those, like who is the goddess? Bow down to me. The other one,
I don't know.
I had her on my show once.
Judy was I'm a petite flower. She was kind of like Gilbert Gottfried in a woman.
Yeah. Very kinky, very
Yeah.
cool. Now,
All
what's
right,
this
here we
about
go.
Ask the Kimmer?
Ask the Kimmer. Okay, Kimmer.
Yeah.
What is the tallest building in the world?
I believe, isn't that the Sears Tower? Oh, no. There's one in Saudi Arabia that's like 2 miles high or something.
A library.
A library is the tallest building in the world because it's
It's got the most stories.
the most stories. Oh, God. That was Ask the Kimmer, was it?
That was Ask the Kimmer.
Oh, I'm sure glad we waited right up till the end there. But
Oh, no, we're not through.
all the good parts.
Here's how you keep people from eating your food at work.
All right, I was hoping you'd. I know one way of doing
Yeah,
it.
well, this is it. You get some brownies,
Yeah.
and you put a sign that says, warning, these brownies are for shits and giggles. Some have laxative, some have pot. Eat one, give it 30 minutes, and you'll know.
I mean, what a rotten thing to. And people have put, really horrible things in the food knowing someone's going to steal it. But we at our last station.
Oh, yeah, we had to say who
or
it
two
was.
stations ago,
He
I
was
guess.
famous for doing it.
Yeah.
And Shelley Winter did a
Shelley
whole
Winter,
show.
yeah.
Didn't Shelley borrow some
Yeah,
Shannon's
he took-
food?
yeah, he took some stuff.
Remember, we got barbecue from somebody, and Shelley went in there, and he's like, "Well, I'm taking it. I mean, it's
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
for
he
our
ate it.
station, but I forget if it was Chad's or someone like that, and
think
he
it
just
was
took it and ate it."
Yeah, I think it's. By the way, have you heard much from Mets fan Shelley Winter lately on the internet? He really hasn't been talking smack lately, has he?
Yeah, that's.
Here's something that pissed me off. Once again, it's an idea that someone does, and I'm thinking, why didn't I do that? I worked for Blockbuster and other video stores for years.
Yeah.
And the stories we can tell, I mean, it was fun as hell. There was a lot of stuff crazy from San Diego to here. Funny people, funny stuff. Well, they've got a show now starring Melissa Fumero, who was that hottie on Brooklyn 911. That married what's his face on there. She
okay.
was hot as a firecracker. The Asian guy that's in everything nowadays. I don't know. And it's about Blockbuster.
Really?
Yeah, so it must be set in the past, and it's kind of like
Obviously,
that
yeah.
Walmart show they did for years. They got away with.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking, why didn't I write that?
I just saw Clerks. I've got DVR
that's
Clerks
overrated.
from.
That's so
stupid
overrated.
movie that was.
Where did you work in San Francisco?
KRON, KRON TV.
Well,
NBC.
KGO has bit the bullet here.
Yeah.
Did you see that with Steve?
Yeah, I did.
Steve
Radio.
Mitchell. Once upon a time, not too long ago, the radio stations owned by ABC were legendary and dominant. It took a while, but one by one, Cumulus ruined every one of them.
Yeah, that's right. They're now going sports betting.
Sports betting.
KGO was an 0-0. I worked at KRON, which
God.
was an 0-0. I mean, which is
The
like working
Giants?
for the network.
Yeah,
I mean, I was on
49ers.
network shows when I was at WLS in Chicago TV. I was on network show, because you're a part of the network. But and again, it's now that was any
It's like
three-
KGO was like
any
WSB.
three-letter call letters. I mean, ladies
Yeah.
and gentlemen, if your radio station has 3 letters or TV has 3 letters, it was one of the originals, and it's probably a 50,000 watt clear channel operation. WLS, WSB, KGO. I mean, there's a million of them. KFI. I mean, honestly, they're all over
WLS?
the place. I mean, they're everywhere. I mean, they were the original big-time power stations, and now it's gone.
Yeah.
Radio.
They killed an entire industry. Greed and the
Cumulus.
Mitt Romneys and all that crap.
Succulus, yeah. Screwed us.
Hey, the next time
Cheating
your wife...
lying bastards cost me a freaking
I know,
car.
they are. The next time your wife gets angry,
Yeah.
drape a towel, and the girlfriends too,
Yeah.
drape a towel over her shoulders like it's a cape, and exclaim, "Now you're super angry."
Oh yeah, that'll work.
Maybe she'll laugh. Maybe you'll die.
Yeah. The quickest way to a man's heart is through his stomach with a knife. Yeah.
Esteban has the list. If you got a Democrat mouthing off on you, just whip this out. Here's your Democrat performance as president, Senate, and the House in the last 20 months. Inflation, 9%. Negative GDP. The markets are down. Crime skyrocketing. There's a fentanyl crisis. Mortgage rates have doubled. There's war in Europe. Unaffordable food. High gas prices. Overdoses are up 30%. Electricity is up 16%. Should just carry that around here.
Carry the facts with you.
And Jim, speaking of facts,
Yeah.
did you know if you're walking in the forest and you see a bunch of trees,
Yeah.
and one of them has darker leaves than the trees around it?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Means it sucked up all the water in the soil from the other trees?
Kinda.
Really?
It means
The
there
nutrients
probably is a dead body buried underneath it.
Whoa, because they got more nutrients from decaying something. Oh my God. Well, no, that's hard to believe.
So next time you're walking
a lot
in the
of
woods,
dead bodies all
by
over the woods are
yourself-
filled with all these dead bodies.
And Stefan has a great thing here. We really used to print out multiple pages from MapQuest
Yeah.
and travel like pirates.
That's right. That's right. We absolutely did. Remember map reading? We used to learn in school how to read a map.
Oh, my dad taught us how to read a map.
Well, I remember in school, in fact, we had to give directions one day as part of a geography class or something, and we had to maybe it was a speech. It was like really a speech exercise where you had to give the class directions to your house. And it's just saying, well, you go down and take a couple of lefts, and then if look for the store. And if you have to actually give directions to somebody, you had to specifically. And reading a map or a bus schedule with things you had to learn. I mean, also don't forget, nobody living today. At some point, everybody living today did not know how to tie their shoes. So,
Flounder, did your dad teach you how to? Who taught you how to read a map? If anyone,
A map?
a map. Did you ever use a map?
Yeah, my dad.
Did you use a map?
I've used it a couple times, but when I started driving, we started having MapQuest and stuff like that, to where you could print out the street names and stuff like that.
Well, okay, I'm the oldest one in the county, but I've driven across country. I don't know how many times, and I have maps with my highlight marker. I mean, and through counties and through states and through. I mean, and there were like 15 stacks of maps.
And you had to pay attention to the signs.
And you better pay attention to the sign. You can't be doing. There's no Google phone warning that taking the next left. I mean, if you missed it, you missed it. And I've missed roads before where you missed an interchange and you have to, another hour out of your way to go back on the interstate.
Oh, and your wife's yelling at you the whole time?
Oh, Jesus. Brutal.
Okay, here's things we need to normalize again.
All right.
Smoking indoors, dressing nice in public, dueling, and accusing women of being witches. Kurt says the only time Stacey Abrams is not talking about election denial is when her mouth is full. Did you see where she once again said that she had never denied it?
Yeah, I know it.
And they ran
a
video.
Showed like 50 of them. So I was one. They cheated me.
One after another, after another, after another.
Oh, I can't wait for that debate. Kemp's going to destroy her.
All right, is it time for Bad Takes Theater?
No, I haven't done all my history.
I've
I've got a couple. I'll try to rush along here because we're running a little late. But look at all these birthdays. My God. John Mellencamp, 71. I don't forgive him for the way he used to make fun of the National Guard. Yo-Yo Ma, 67. That when he was on West Wing and played the thing and part of the Josh, I mean, what beautiful, that cello.
The best thing
makes
of him
you cry.
is the photo of him in a bathroom somewhere. Someone said, we have a wombat in the bathroom. And he went and laid down on the floor of the bathroom and played with the wombat.
Wow. Well, listen to his playing that cello. It brings tears to your eyes. 67. Simon Cowell, the guy from the Singing People, 63 or 4. I've heard two different ones. Tony Braxton is either 55 or 56. Be Still My Heart or whatever. The idiot Joy Behar from The View. She's 80.
What?
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
I can't believe it. But she's as stupid as a 90-year-old. So that's, she's stupidity is a 90-year-old level, which is nice. Mary Badham, you know who that is? She played Scout on To Kill a Mockingbird in the movie. Mary Badham is 70. Pete has never read To Kill a Mockingbird.
Never will.
Nathaniel Ratcliffe and the Night Sweats guy. He's 44 today. Desmond Tutu's 81. Jane Torval, remember that name? She won the Olympic gold medal as an ice dancer. She is 66, Jane Torval. Evan Longoria is the baseball player, 38. I think is he still playing? Miami
Giants.
Or somebody? Giants. And is he related to Eva Longoria? He's not. Mookie Betts, speaking of baseball, 31. Vladimir Putin, 70 years old today. I know he's freaking psycho. Flounder's history guy sent this. Oliver North, gangster, 79. Did you ever watch the TV series Supergirl?
I started to,
then
it got so woke.
Yeah, I tried. I think I watched one or two, and I thought I was hoping this would be a good show.
It was anti-Trump.
And it was a cute little blonde little cutie, and I was hoping
anti-Trump.
Well, Nicole Maines, Supergirl, is 25 years old. In the series Supergirl, she's the first tranny actress to play a tranny superhero.
She's not Supergirl.
No, she's not Supergirl. She's in the series Supergirl. And one of my favorite adult actresses, Brie Olson, is 36 today. She's Charlie Sheen's former porn girlfriend. And she had a thing about it for many years. 2016, the Rolling Stones played the first night of the Desert Trip Festival at the Polo Club in Indio, California. The concert featured Bob Dylan, Paul McCartney, Neil Young, Roger Waters, and The Who. It ran 6 days over 2 weekends and raked in $160 million, the highest earning music festival ever.
Roger Waters just got kicked out of Poland because he was saying it.
Oh, that's right.
That's all Russia. The lies about Russia. We're lying about Putin and Russia and everything.
Said you'll have to leave, sir. 2005. Boy George got himself busted before he thought things through. Boy George called the cops because he thought someone was breaking into his apartment. Well, that was the plan. Apparently, it turns out that originally it was a call because Boy George thought that the male prostitute he had hired was trying to rob him. So he called the cops. The cops got to Boy George's apartment, took a look around, and noticed a bunch of cocaine on the computer table, and then eventually discovered 13 bags of it. And Boy George got busted. And it reminded me of a certain young lady that we used to know and love who had to call the cops to rescue her from being trapped on her balcony one night. And when the cops rescued her, getting her in through the balcony, they found something that they thing to think. 1999, the era of domain names. Boy, do I remember this. 1999, Don Henley sued a Florida internet company for copyright infringement because the company registered the following names: DonHenley.net, DonHenley.org, DonHenley.org, TheEndOfInnocence.com, TheEagles.com. And he said, wait a minute, I get to have something. I tried to register the Kimmer and I couldn't get it. And I couldn't register the Kimmer Show. I couldn't get that either.
Someone had that.
It was unbelievable. Some girl had the Kimmer.
I think it was me.
Anyway, and one more couple quick things. In 1985, 4 Palestinian hijackers from the PLO board the Italian cruise ship, the Achille Laurel, and take the captain and ship hostage. Does not end well. At one point, they were traveling to Syria. The terrorists demanded negotiations. Syria refused to permit the ship to anchor there, so there were more threats, and that afternoon they killed Leon Klinghoffer, a 69-year-old Jewish American who was in a wheelchair, and they killed him and threw him in the wheelchair overboard. The PLO even condemned it. The hijackers agreed to surrender to Egypt and free the hostages in exchange for a pledge of safe passage to an undisclosed destination. Now, here's how a president should react. At the time, the president was Ronald Reagan. So the 4 hijackers boarded an Egypt Air Boeing 737 along with Mohammed Abbas, a member of the PLO who was part of the negotiations. Okay, they took off from Cairo, headed for Tunisia for freedom after the hijacking. President Ronald Reagan said, oh yeah? He ordered his F-14 Tomcat fighter jets to intercept their jetliner 80 miles south of Crete. The F-14s, without even announcing themselves, all of a sudden showed up alongside the jetliner, taking these hijackers supposedly to freedom. They were denied permission to land at Tunis airport. They requested to land at Athens airport, were also refused. The F-14s turned on their lights and flew wing to wing with the airliner and were ordered to land at a NATO base in Sicily, or we will shoot you down. And so they said, you mean we don't get our freedom in Tunis? No. If you don't land at the NATO base, we will shoot you down. So they did, and were not shot down, and they got prison terms and everything else. But again, that was Ronald Reagan saying, oh yeah? And he said, can you imagine the jetliner pilot? There was no word of this from anybody. All of a sudden, the airline pilot, the Egypt Airlines, is flying along, and he sees a series of F-14 Tomcats next to him, saying, going like this. How funny was that? In 1963, the first prototype of a mass-produced business jet takes off on its maiden test flight from Wichita, Kansas, the first Learjet. That was 63. 1982, the musical Cats opens at the Winter Garden Theater on Broadway. Betty Buckley was Grizabella. It ran for 7,485 performances and doesn't close for 18 years. 2003, California Governor Gray Davis is impeached for mismanagement of the budget. Only the second governor in history. The first was Lynn Frazier of North Dakota in 1921. But the California Gray Davis impeachment led to the election of Arnold Schwarzenegger, 2003. 1918, you know this well, the Georgia Tech football team defeats Cumberland College
222 to nothing.
to nothing. And the Techies ran the ball for 978 yards. They never threw a pass. It was all running game, the whole damn thing. 2001, Barry Bonds of the Giants hit home run number 73 for the Major League cheat record. And one more thing, Ted Danson in 1995 married Mary Steenburgen. It's their 27th wedding anniversary, which is pretty special.
Good Arkansas girl.
Oh, there you go. Anyway, boys, any plans for the weekend? So before we do our Brad Tex Theater first.
Baseball, college football, the NFL.
Yeah,
this thing is,
and games on tonight, like 5. How many games? 4 or 5 or 5? Must be 4 games on
noon,
today.
2, 4,
3,
and
then
8.
4 to 8.
So at least
Yeah,
there's
4 games, I
on
guess.
today. And
Cool.
it's crazy. Which, by the way, I'm watching faster now. I got my new internet in, the fiber optic thing.
Oh, did you go to the company and tell them?
AT&T, they gave me a deal, and they said, okay, we'll do this fiber. It's much quicker and
Yeah.
everything like that. So
Yeah.
immediately, of course, it shut down. Immediately.
Well, sure.
And this guy named Kenya came in, looked like a Rastafarian, couldn't have been nicer, did
Yeah.
a great job.
Good.
First thing he does, he comes in and he sits down and goes, uh-oh.
Oh, I love when that happens.
He goes, there's a little roadblock here. And I said, what? He goes, for some reason, they have put in where it comes into the apartment on the opposite end of where it's supposed to be.
Oh,
And
boy.
we're looking at it, and I finally said, I'll just put the cable across the floor, and I'll step over it. I don't care, because it's kind of like you have in here. So now I have now I'm looking at it last night going, well, that was a stupid idea.
Well, put tape up. Just put contractor's tape over
I should have
it.
had him do it, but he would have had to do it all over the
Yeah.
apartment on the roof.
Just put duct tape over it. You won't trip over
I
it.
know, but it looks
Well-
like crap. But basically, they want me to move the TV. I said, first of
Yeah.
all, we can't move the TV. It's 5,000 pounds.
Yeah.
What it's sitting on, and it just looks stupid. So
Yeah.
I have a thing, but supposedly it's supposed to be
Put
fast.
duct tape on it. You'll be fine.
And yesterday was German American Day. So you know what I did?
What'd you do? You drink the
Bratwurst?
beer, I'm guessing.
I went to my Polish neighbors unannounced, and I walked in and I tipped their furniture over. And then I went to
Your
a local
Polish neighbors,
Yeah,
ladies and
Polish-
gentlemen.
Then I went to a local French restaurant. I sat down and I ordered all their wine. And then when I left, I didn't pay, and I took a painting off the wall. Took it home.
Well, it's like when the mayor of Paris saw the German army coming. He said, "Table for 20,000, monsieur."
Bad Takes Theater time.
There you go.
All right, we've got one that is between a man and a woman. And the
Uh-oh.
man is trying to be sexy.
Oh,
Are you the
trying to
man
be
or the
sexy?
woman?
All right.
I'll be the man.
All righty.
You know what would be sexy? Eating food off each other.
You didn't do the dishes, did you?
I didn't.
I love it. Did you see a couple of memes that I sent? I got from either Barry or somebody. It was I should have done this earlier. I don't know why I didn't. Come on, give me the stinker. All right, sorry. I swear to God, it's almost worth waiting here. Why the hell isn't that? Here we go. Here we go. Husband, when I die, I'd like to die making love. Wife, at least we'll know it'll be quick. I sent it to my favorite ex-wife and my daughters.
That's Hector says we need to check Facebook because he's done. First of all, Hector's put Best Buy electronics on your milk,
I didn't mean Best Buy.
and he says he's put flounder in one of our jib jabs.
There
So
you
we'll have
go.
that to
So
look forward
I'm
to.
looking forward
You're
to
in a
that.
jib jab, Hector says. So.
I'm looking forward to it.
All right.
All right. Well, anyway, boys, have a great weekend. Happy footballing. Flounder, any special plans? Let's go hit some balls, maybe Sunday afternoon or something. All righty. Hoorah, Semper Fi. I got to go. You're killing me. Look out. How to herp. Huh.